in Srinagar.
Well, more than 7,000 people from all walks of life will gather along with Prime Minister Modi on the banks of the Dal Lake to mark this special occasion.
And the event aims to bring together thousands of participants to promote global health and wellness through the practice of yoga.
So on this occasion, Prime Minister Modi will address the gathering and he'll also participate in the common yoga protocol session, highlighting yoga's significance in nurturing physical, mental and spiritual growth.
And now the theme of Yoga Day this year is Yoga for Self and Society. It showcases a message to promote global health and wellness through the practice of yoga.
Well, the celebrations span across the globe with notable events such as Yoga for Space. In fact, Indian Space Agency ISRO will organize programs across India on the practice of common yoga protocol. In fact, the Gaganyaan project team will also take part in the celebrations. The Gaganyaan, remember, is India's human space flight program, and India plans to put 3 of its nationals in space in 2025 and bring them back safely home to Earth.
But that's not all, Moon. Around the world, India's diplomatic missions will join the celebrations, reflecting yoga's widespread influence. Since its inception in 2015, Prime Minister Modi, for one, has hosted the celebrations at various iconic locations worldwide, including United Nations headquarters in New York City in the US.
So a quick word now about the International Day of Yoga. The United Nations established it on 11th December 2014 in response to a proposal made by Prime Minister Modi at the 69th session of the UN General Assembly. The first International Day of Yoga was celebrated on 21st June 2015. The date coincides with the summer solstice, which is the longest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere and is a symbol of light and health. Besides New Delhi and New York City, Prime Minister Modi has hosted Yoga Day celebrations at Chandigarh, Dehradun, Ranchi, Lucknow and Mysuru, various Indian cities.
Now, originating from the roots of the ancient Upanishad, yoga's enduring practice has surpassed cultural confines. The establishment of the International Day of Yoga underscores its widespread acceptance and positive impact. Sujata Lochab delves deeper into the evolution and significance of yoga and sheds more light on its transformative journey through centuries.
History of yoga is as old as human civilization, certainly much older than archaeological records. In Harappa, the sculpture of meditating yogi and seal of yogi found in Mohenjo-daro is probably the most ancient record, which dates back to 3000 BC. The root of yoga is in Upanishads, where we find detailed descriptions of Ashtanga Yoga, also known as the 8 limbs of yoga, describing 72,000 human nerves and yoga feet. The Upanishadic truth of prana or vital forces was taught in Bhagavad Gita in detail. Lord Krishna says, Pranapano samokritva nasabhyantar charino, shutting out all external contacts and fixing the gaze between the eyebrows. By controlling the movements of breath, one can conquer chief prana and becomes immortal. Such yogi never ages and lives for thousands of years. The purpose of yoga is not only to obtain immortality, but also to make body, mind and heart healthy and disease-free. The father of modern yoga, Patanjali, The Indian sage who is believed to have authored a number of Sanskrit works on yoga around 200 BCE, most prominent of which is Yoga Sutras. He assimilated yoga into the system for the common masses. The purpose of yoga is absolute happiness. Yoga is boon for humanity because it helps one avoid all kinds of misery. Gautam Buddha's first teacher was the yoga guru Arad Kalma, who was an accomplished Hatha yogi. Buddha learnt Ashtanga yoga from him, and later through Upanishadic Dhyana yoga he accomplished nirvana. All Jain Tirthankaras were accomplished yogins. In modern times, Swami Vivekananda popularized yoga and dhyana in West during 20th century. Vivekananda's Raj Yoga is one of the modern classic on yoga written for Western world. Later Indian sannyasis and yogins like Paramahansa Yogananda, Swami Sivananda Saraswati, B.K.S. Iyengar, Mahesh Yogi, Swami Kaivalyananda followed him and taught it to the Western world. Yoga Guru B.K.S. Iyengar was the first who achieved fame as Yoga Guru in West and taught yoga to several celebrities, politicians, famous philosophers like Aldous Huxley, violinist Yehudi Menuhin, and even Queen Elizabeth of Belgium. Later, Mahesh Yogi rocked America with his yoga mission. In the 60s and 70s, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi achieved fame as the guru to the Beatles, the Beach Boys, and other celebrities.
To attain this, they have to have a deep and clear experience of being.
In present times, there are many gurus who are making yoga popular in India and West both. They made it part of lifestyle and made easy yoga available to households. But yoga became world famous and reached every corner of the world because of the efforts of India's Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi. It is his effort that United Nations General Assembly unanimously passed and adopted International Yoga Day in 2014. The first International Yoga Day was celebrated successfully on June 21, 2015 across the world, including New York, Paris, Beijing, Bangkok, Kuala Lumpur, Seoul, and New Delhi. Sujata Lochab, for DD India.
And joining us from the Sher-e-Kashmir Conference Center in Srinagar is our colleague Jessica Tanja. Jessica, good morning to you. Give us a sense of what's happening around you as we speak. We are looking to the big event, the marquee event that the PM will headline at Srinagar.
That's right, Ramesh. It's raining out here, and almost the event is supposed to begin in about an hour, as you pointed out. But with the situation of the weather, which is waiting for things will be made clear in some time. But so far, the schedule is on time. The Prime Minister who arrived here at the Sher-e-Kashmir Convention Center, and when he will be with the participants, 6,000 of Jammu and Kashmir, and they will be participating and doing yoga with the Prime Minister in about an hour, if the weather permits. The way it is right now, it certainly looks slightly turbulent, so to say.
Absolutely, it's a breezy morning. We can see, Jessica, if you had the opportunity to speak to some of the participants, how excited are they ahead of the marquee event? After all, Prime Minister will be leading Yoga Day celebrations once again.
That's correct. Last year it was in America, and this time we have chosen Srinagar, which is quite significant. And yesterday, you saw the Prime Minister interacted with the youth, handing out employment certificates, and certainly creating that enthusiasm, especially with the youth. Apologies for noon, it's also raining quite heavily, and we will try and get you more details on that. I would interact with the people who come here to do yoga with the Prime Minister at this event, the 10th International Yoga Day celebration. The weather slightly is not permitting things to go according to plan.
Absolutely. Jessica, we can understand. We leave it at that, but we'll keep coming back to you for more updates. It's going to be a long and busy day ahead. Thank you for joining us for now. And let's get started with the analysis on the 10th International Yoga Day. Joining us in the studios are Yoga Guru Bijoy Lakshmi Hota, also Professor Rajkumar Yadav with the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in the Department of Physiology is joining us. Such a pleasure to have the two of you. A very good morning and happy Yoga Day to the both of you. You know, your thoughts for starters, ma'am, if we could begin with the theme of this year. We know the theme of this year is yoga for self and society. So what does yoga mean to you, and how would you reflect on the theme?
See, yoga as a system has a lot to offer. It is not just a physical system, but also it deals with your mental problems, it deals with your emotional problems, it deals with your karmic problems if you believe in karma. But the thing is that it is not just asanas and pranayams that can do that. You have to do some meditation, you have to do some mantra, etc. And it can really improve the society, because one thing that really comes to my mind is the violence. There is so much of violence in society now. It is not because of just any problem outside, but it is because of a unbalanced energy system. So we say that if there is too much of physical energy and less of mental energy, then there is violence and aggression. So you just balance it with yoga, and yoga is actually devised for that, to balance an energy system, so that when you balance it, then the problem is gone, the character changes.
Fair enough. So it's a holistic approach, Ramesh, isn't it?
Yes.
Indeed. Yes. Dr. Yadav, as a medical professional, as a medical practitioner, how would you approach the concept and philosophy of yoga in your professional sphere or domain?
Yeah. So, as you just said, the theme for this year, International Day of Yoga, is Yoga for Self and Society. And the very important point here is, the definition of health. The definition of health says, health is a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease. So here the three important points are, it's a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being. Physical, physical means our physical body, mental means our mental health, and important is the society, the social. And at All India Institute of Medical Sciences and many different hospitals and medical colleges, we always used to think how we can achieve this, because it includes the whole society, that is the health.
So when was the foundation of this laid, if you could also tell us that, of the interplay between medicine and yoga, and how has it built upon it, especially AIMS?
Yeah, that's a very good question. The AIMS was established in 1956, and truly speaking, when I was going through the research which were done at the AIMS, what I observed was the first research publication in the field of yoga was in 1960s, and that was that was by the directions from the parliament. At that time it was said that the yoga is our Indian legacy. So why don't we do the research, the scientific research with evidence-based? And that's how I think it started. And the first publication, what I can observe, I could observe, is that it was in 1960s about some yogis, and there we have tried to, or the researchers at that time, they tried to find out how the brain behaves. And that time basically EEG recording, different electrodes are put on the scalp, and then recording of the brain activity during meditation in a yogi. That was done in 1960s, and it was published there.
What was found in it?
Yeah, that is a good question. What was found in those days, because the recording was very simple, and but still it was found that when we do the meditation, the brain, or simply you can say overall, we relax. And that there are different types of waves, like alpha waves, beta waves, theta waves and so on. So by observing these waves, the change in the waves, it was observed that during the meditation, the brain relaxes.
Now, Yoga Guru Bijoy Lakshmi Hosa, for the benefit of viewers joining us from India and around the world, talk to us a bit about your initiation into yoga. How and why did you initiate yourself into this ancient Indian practice?
Well, I had a lot of physical problems. I was very young, so I was not interested in the mental aspect at all. It was just I had a number of problems which no other channel could cure, like starting from backache to tetany, that is calcium deficiency, to anemia, to what not, all kinds of problems, insomnia. I was on sleeping tablets for 4 years before I took up yoga, and it was it came to such a point that I thought I would not survive, that was that bad. So, when somebody suggested that I go and do yoga, I went and stayed in the ashram.
Which year was this? When was this?
It was in 77, long ago. So, the yoga was not popular at that time at all, but somebody, my mother, she forced me into the ashram, she said otherwise you will die. So, I went to the ashram, stayed there for 15 days, and you believe me, in 15 days all my problems were gone. And I had tried allopathy, homeopathy, Ayurveda and everything, nothing could really help me, and 15 days of yoga cured me. So, that naturally pulled me to this thing. I wanted to know more about it. So, I studied, I learnt it under my Guruji, and then slowly I came to this line full-fledged.
Absolutely, and just in sync with what you are saying, we'll understand the benefits which are therapeutic also of yoga. So, yoga is recognized as a form of mind-body medicine that integrates an individual's physical, mental and spiritual components to improve aspects of health. But as Kriti Vadera reports, therapeutic yoga offers even more benefits. Take a look.
Therapeutic yoga is a personalized approach to yoga that focuses on the specific health needs of an individual. It combines traditional yoga practices such as asanas, the postures, pranayama, the breath control and meditation with modern medical and psychological knowledge.
If patient came to us for different type of disease, different type of pain, different type of anxiety, bipolar disease, right? So what we can do is we provide the therapeutic session which is come across the Ashtanga Yoga Sutra, and if we go for a yoga sessions, so our first motto is how to settle down to the patient and our people, and I'm so glad to see the benefiting of yoga practice. After the patients, once he came out the session, he feel relaxed mentally, physically and emotionally also.
This form of yoga aims to improve overall well-being, manage or alleviate specific health issues and support recovery from illness or injury.
I am suffering from a rarest disease called Schumann's disease, where your backbone gets tilted towards around 52 degree. And once I've joined yoga, it's been I think 3 months now. My body is more flexible. I am able to attain a proper posture. I was not able to sit for a long hours, but now I'm able to sit. So for me, it's been a blessing.
I had major severe jaundice and anxiety issues, and yoga has helped me a lot in my life. And after that, I can see that I can socialize with people more, and I feel more calm and composed, and it has made me more peaceful.
Today's life is very hectic, so work-life balance is very difficult. So for me, like doing yoga makes me stress-free and definitely my mind full of energy and positive thoughts.
Therapeutic yoga can be beneficial for a variety of conditions, including chronic pain, anxiety, depression, cardiovascular diseases, and muscular issues. It's typically guided by a trained yoga therapist who can assess the practitioner's needs and create a safe, effective practice plan.
Yoga is not just a practice, but it is a path towards healing and harmony. From ancient roots to modern applications, yoga still continues to be the beacon of hope and health for all. With camera person Shiv Suman, I'm Kriti Vadera reporting from New Delhi for DD India.
Right, Munmu, let's go back to our guests, Yoga Guru Bijoy Lakshmi Hota and Professor Rajkumar Yadav. Professor Yadav, if I can start with you again. You were discussing about how evidence has shown that yoga has a salutary effect on diseases. For instance, heart disease, we are told, glaucoma, diabetes. Talk to us a bit more about what you have found in your studies so far.
Yeah. As I just said, yoga is our Indian legacy, and it is you see its existence is since I think thousands of years. Here, what we have done at All India Institute of Medical Sciences, different diseases we tried to find out how the yoga can influence the modern diseases, because today the science needs evidence. So whatever the evidence is, only those evidence-based
Right.
medicine or evidence-based yoga, you can say, that is what we are trying to find out, the science and the evidence.
Can you explain to us with the help of a case study?
Yes. So one of those is you see, everybody is interested in the heart. Right now we have one clinical trial which is running right now, and that is basically in the patients with heart failure. Actually, what is heart failure? Heart failure doesn't mean that heart has stopped. It simply means the efficiency of heart has reduced. Means, you know, heart is just like a pump. It pumps the blood which has to move across the body. If the efficiency of the heart has decreased, means suppose earlier it used to pump more blood, now it is pumping lesser blood with less efficiency. So that is the situation which is known as heart failure. In the patients with heart failure, nowadays what we are trying to find out, how the yoga may be useful. And this is our clinical trial, which is actually multi-centric, and it has 15 centers across the country, and including 4 or 5 AIMS, as well as in different parts of the country like Northeast, and there is NIGRIMS. In South we have centers at Bangalore, the Mysore, and so on. So basically this is RCT, randomized control trial. We are enrolling the patients with heart failure, and of course the standard of care with yoga in one of the groups, what we are trying to find out how it can change. Of course the study is still on, so we can discuss the results later on. That is one of our projects. Other than this, of course, we have done the studies in the type 2 diabetes, in the high blood pressure or the hypertension, and very important, some important diseases with eyes, you know, like we have tried to observe how the yoga can influence. One of the commonest diseases of the eyes is glaucoma. In the glaucoma, usually the pressure in the eyes increases. So what we have tried to observe, that can yoga influence, and our results show yes, it can significantly and positively modify the disease. But a word of caution: whatever the diseases you have, or if you are consulting your physician or doctor, whoever, please always consult the doctor, whoever is treating you.
We'll discuss about the importance of the common yoga
Yes,
protocol
yes,
as well, so that there is a sense of uniformity in
Yes.
how yoga asanas are done for various diseases particularly. But before that, Vijayalakshmi ji, you spoke about your therapeutic transformation in a sense that happened over 27 years, because you said you began in 1977. If you could cite some examples of some sort of therapeutic transformation that you've seen over the years of people who've come in front of you with various problems, and how their lives have transformed as a result of that. It's not just about getting cured in a sense or treating a particular disease. It's also, like you said, a more holistic approach towards yoga. So if you could cite some examples and tell us how people's lives are being transformed because of yoga.
Okay. Let's say the worst disease, one of the worst diseases, that is cancer. Normally people who come to me with cancer, they do their chemotherapy and then they come. But there is one gentleman who is in Australia. He consulted me because he said the oncologist called him after 15 days. So he consulted me. He had earlier learned from me for his heart problem, and so this time he consulted me. So I told him what all to do, and 15 days later when he went for the test, there was no cancer. No cancer, that it had vanished completely.
At what stage was that cancer?
It was just diagnosed. So
was it the early stage?
I don't think it was a very advanced stage.
Okay.
That was, I think, even initial stage. That is one. Then he got back, because I had asked some food restrictions, some mantras. He dropped that. He said so easy to cure it. Then he went back to his old routine, and again he got it. Second time also he phoned me, and again I told him, and second time also it vanished. It is when he got it, again he went back to his whiskey and other things. Then again he got it. The third time he didn't consult me, because I think he felt embarrassed or I don't know what. So third time he went for a chemo and he didn't survive. So this is one example, that because the person had come to me without no other treatment he was taking, that is why I am mentioning. Otherwise there is another lady who had cancer. in I think 80s or 90s, I don't remember. She's still there, she has no problem. So it really helps. Cancer, that is not cancer, that cancer is one example I took. There are hypertension is always normalized within 3 days. I have not seen anybody who has gone beyond a week. It is, of course, it is essential hypertension. I am not talking about the complicated ones. It is essential hypertension. Normally within a week it becomes normal. So yoga is very powerful when you choose the right practices.
Indeed. In your opening intervention, Yoga Guru Hota, you spoke about how yoga is more than asanas or pranayam. You also referred to a karmic connection, as it were. Could you elaborate on this? What did you mean by karmic connection?
Yes, it is actually cause and effect. It is everything that you think. Everything is energy. So your thoughts also is energy. Your disease also is energy. Everything just, it is the difference of vibration, isn't it? So when you are thinking, all thoughts, that anything that impressive gives an impression on you, anything like you see something, you say it's a beautiful thing. That is an impression you have, and that thought remains in our mind. We do not realize, but every thought remains in the mind, and the sum total of that is called karma. So if they are negative, you have negative karmas, and the effect will be negative. And if you are positive, then it will be positive. Now what yoga does, the yoga gurus, I mean naturally they were so wise, they knew everything about human thoughts, the earlier those who had devised yoga. So they knew about this aspect also, and that is why they had done some yogas, different yogas. One is karma yoga, one is bhakti yoga, one is mantra yogas. So these yogas are actually, they purge the negative karma.
Very interesting. We'll come back to that in just a bit, Munmun. But in the meantime, let's pull up some more news coming our way, viewers' way. Now, yoga has a salutary impact on mental health as well. From reducing stress and anxiety to enhancing emotional well-being and mindfulness, yoga offers a holistic approach to mental wellness. Rahul Upadhyay dives into the science behind yoga's benefits and gets you inspiring stories of inner transformation.
Yoga is derived from the Sanskrit word yuj, which means to unite. Yoga has a profound journey towards unity of mind, body, and spirit. In this edition, let's explore how yoga enhances mental health.
The fast-paced life resulting in many lifestyle-related ailments. Issues relating to mental health are also on the rise. Tension, anxiety, and depression are being reported at an alarming pace in almost all strata of the society. Popping pills seems to be the go-to solution with the generation next. But yoga provides an alternative solution to these problems with little effort and some attention.
Yoga is does not mean as a only asana. It is a Ashtanga yoga. So all steps like yama, niyama, asana, pranayam, and towards the samadhi. So in day-to-day practice, if you someone follows certain discipline in the lifestyle, in the diet, and the positive thought process, and follows and observes the yogasana, I think that is the way of leading healthy and happy life.
Yoga's combination of physical postures known as asanas, controlled breathing, and mindfulness techniques effectively promote relaxation and mental calmness. The benefits that occur make yoga a valuable tool to manage the psychological challenges of day-to-day life.
Physical, mental, and spiritual, 3 parts of yoga. So we can strong these by asanas, like these are the physical posture. By pranayams, these are called breathing exercises, and by meditation.
People around the world has witnessed the benefits of yoga in their life. Carrie Herendorf of US, who is a yoga therapist, was suffering with many challenges like anxiety, depression, but after practicing yoga in her daily life, she found it very helpful.
If everyone in the world did yoga, the world would be a better place. There'd be more harmony, more health, more happiness, more integration, right? Life happens in the body, and the body doesn't lie.
Research suggests that including yoga in one's daily routine can significantly reduce cortisol levels, a hormone associated with stress.
19th century Indian philosopher Swami Vivekananda once said, "Through practice comes yoga, through yoga comes knowledge, through knowledge comes love, and through love comes bliss." With this vision in mind, let us pledge to incorporate yoga into our daily life. With camera person Vishwabandhu, this is Rahul Upadhyay reporting from New Delhi for DD India.
So yoga then opens the gateway to bliss. Well, with International Day of Yoga being celebrated by millions across the globe, thousands have gathered at the New York's iconic Times Square to exercise. Organizers say that the numbers of US nationals practicing yoga continue to soar as more people realize both the physical and spiritual benefits. Mitch McCann reports from New York City.
It's hardly the most peaceful place to practice, but surrounded by the bright lights and shining signs of Times Square, thousands of New Yorkers are rehearsing their downward dogs, upward-facing dogs, and warrior poses, and they say it is possible to find calm among the chaos.
Honestly, you kind of just like zone out. Like there's people walking around and like you feel like you're in a little bit of a fish tank, like with them taking pictures, but I don't know, I didn't find it hard to relax.
Relaxation is just one of the many benefits of practicing yoga, according to Douglas Stewart. It was his idea to bring yoga to Times Square more than 2 decades ago for what he describes as a challenge for the mind.
This is a great experiment to see if it's possible in all of this chaos to find or to cultivate peace. It's a puzzle.
It's a puzzle made all that more difficult by the soaring heat, which is now regularly exceeding 30 degrees Celsius each day in New York.
Yoga has become increasingly popular among millions of people. For some, it's an escape from everyday life, although doing yoga here in Times Square is a little more distracting than usual.
It's widely regarded that yoga first arrived in the United States way back in the late 1800s, but those we spoke to say it's still growing now, with more Americans open to giving it a go.
Yogis say at years old as your spine is flexible, so, you know, here's to old age in yoga.
I think it's good for my body, especially as I get older. It's not, you know, impact or anything, it's not high impact, and also good for my mind and meditation.
This event will see thousands practice yoga at what's often referred to as the crossroads of the world. And judging by the turnout today, Times Square will see yogis for many years to come. Mitch McCann in New York for DD India.
All right, let's take our viewers now to Colombo and Sri Lanka, Munmun, where our colleague Ahmed Muin Farooqi is joining us. Ahmed, good morning to you. Give us a sense of how Colombo is looking forward to Yoga Day.
Ramesh, very good morning to you and a very happy International Day of Yoga, the 10th International Day of Yoga to you all back at the studio. I'm now today connecting from Galle. This is on the southern tip of the southern coast of Sri Lanka. And from here at the iconic Galle Fort, we are connecting live. You can see the arrangements are already in place. The yoga, the entire session would be commencing at around 6:30 a.m. We are expecting Governor of the Eastern Province to come here and be a part of it. The entire team will be performing yoga, and thereafter we'll get to see more things that how people would be feeling with regard to how it's changing their lives and how it's impacting their mental health as well as physical health. So till that time, I think we'll still be waiting for more people to join. Gradually, you can see people are coming in and they are already in their places. And probably in a few more minutes' time, we'll get to see more people joining in. And that entire portion would be completely occupied, is what it is. Ramesh.
Dr. Farooqi, it's nice to see the build-up behind you in Galle. You said you are. We've seen that this particular Yoga Day for 10 years has also been, in a sense, a diplomatic achievement and a vehicle of India's soft power. If you could tell us the kind of work that is done by diplomatic missions, including in Sri Lanka, for instance, on taking yoga to the wider community there.
No, absolutely, you're right. You see, yoga has been something which talks about bringing body and mind together. Here, it's not just million of body and mind; it's also of cultures of people who are spread across the entire globe. And a big role in bringing these together has been done by our diplomatic missions. Sri Lanka included, most of the diplomatic missions of India in various countries, they have taken all efforts, they've gone all out to popularize the themes of yoga, and they have tried their level best in making yoga as popular as possible in their respective areas. To begin with, Sri Lanka already was exposed to yoga, and they have had a very healthy connect between India with regard to the cultural contact. And yoga as well as Ayurveda had been already a part of their culture. The only thing was it had to be further propelled and a space, which happened because of an international day of yoga, which brought people together across the world. And Sri Lankan people readily came onto the bandwagon, and they are readily accepting it. And that's how it's been here in Sri Lanka. But in part of this also, we are seeing that the diplomatic missions have been doing a fantastic job in using yoga as a diplomatic tool, as well as taking yoga as very healthy option for people to improve their physical, mental, and spiritual lives.
And Ahmed, before we let you go, have you perfected any asanas yet? Any favorites that you would like to perform on a daily basis?
So there are several. I mean, one of the most favorite ones of mine is standing foot or vrikshasana, wherein you simply reach out on one of your feet, which goes onto your thigh, and reach, and then you chant. So some of the aspects which I personally like, it gives a sense of how you can connect with each part of your body and how you can maintain that balance, while at the same time you try to improve how your body can behave with how without seeing anything, without feeling anything, you get to have a balance coming into your body.
Dr. Farooqui, that's spontaneity for you. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll keep coming back to you through the day. Let's hope that the whole world today once again immerses itself in the International Day of Yoga, just like all of us, including you are. Well, we'll take this forward now, from the medical perspective also. Dr. Yadav, we were talking about the importance of a common yoga protocol. Basically, you need to do yoga the right way. So what would you like to say on that? It's important that people pick up the right asanas to treat the diseases that they have, or generally to maintain good health and well-being.
Yeah, that's a very good question actually. Because yoga is our Indian legacy, so we have so many different schools of yoga. So to make it uniform, Ministry of Ayush, as well as I think the Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga and many more, they have developed a common yoga protocol. And the aim was to do the yoga in uniformity at different, like today, International Day of Yoga, we are celebrating across the globe. And if we want to make that, everybody should do something in uniformity. So this is one of the good options which they have provided. Otherwise, in our country, there are so many schools of yoga, there are so many gurus of yoga. Ultimately, everyone wants to achieve the best of the health and best of the wellness. But of course, if you have to do, there should be some uniformity, and for that I think this common yoga protocol is one of the best options.
When we talk about health and wellness, Professor Yadav and Yoga Guru Hota, one can't but also talk about aging. Now, is it from your experience, Professor Yadav, and then to you, Yoga Guru Hota, is it proven that yoga prevents or slows aging?
Yes. You see, aging basically, as we can understand, aging is basically of two types. One is the calendar aging, means with each year, once we celebrate our birthday, with every birthday we are 1 year older. So that is one way to see the aging. But what we see as a medical person, aging is basically what we want to know is the basically biological aging. how your cells are aging. For example, if a person is of 50 years of age as per calendar aging, but apparently the person may be looking like a 40 years old. Similarly, another person may be looking like of 60 years of age. That is basically the biological aging. Means how your body reacts to the stress, how your body reacts to the today's digital world full of stress and this ambience and all that. So for that, we have tried to again try to do some research, and we tried to find out, can the yoga influence the aging? And of course, we tried to find out.
What did you find?
Yeah, so what we tried to find out at the cellular level. There are two very good markers for the aging. One is telomere and the other is telomerase. Telomere basically, you know, we have the chromosomes, and telomere basically protects the ends of the chromosomes. So that is very important to maintain the aging. And for the enzyme which is required is usually telomerase. So this, what we observed, that by this yoga based interventions, this telomere and the telomerase can be positively modified. This is what our observation is.
What's been your experience been like, Yoga Guru Hota?
You see, as you, there is a saying, as you think it, so you become it. So normally when you do yoga, you feel so positive, you feel so young and energetic that it reflects on your body. And of course, yoga does slow down the metabolism. They say that meditation especially, I believe the telomeres which splits shortens very fast. With meditation, when you do meditation regularly, that slows down. So it is definitely, it is very, very anti-aging.
It's also important, would you agree, Ms. Hota, that yoga also needs to be accessible to people. Now, the Ayush Ministry has come up with an app which is called the Namaste Yoga app. Also, how important is it for people to go to institutions with yoga certifications, or can they make it accessible anywhere? Because, you know, there are people who are teaching yoga through social media platforms, through Zoom, maybe through other platforms as well. So how does one really choose or select a particular place from where they should learn yoga? Should they go and check certifications? How should a common person ensure that he or she is learning the right way?
Actually, one problem with yoga is like if you do not have any problems, you know, no ailments, your back is strong, everything, then you can do any asanas, no problem with that, or your your blood pressure is normal. But if you have a problem, then certain asanas, if you do, it will aggravate. Like if you have a back problem and you do forward bending asanas, back is definitely going to get worse. So similarly, if you have high blood pressure and you do Bhastrika Pranayam, your blood pressure is going to go high. So if you do not have any problem, you can follow a general routine, but if you have a problem, then specialized yoga is necessary.
But what probably Munmun meant, and correct me if I am wrong, Munmun, but how does, for instance, if I speak about myself, how do I pick my yoga guru? Is there a certification whereby I can find out, okay, this person is suited for me or not? Like for instance, in Dr. Yadav's case, we know that they have certifications. Everybody can't be a doctor. There are only so many people, accomplished doctors who are professionally qualified. In the case of yoga gurus, how does one distinguish one from the other?
That's a very tricky question, because you really can't, your body will tell you. If you go try something for a few days, yoga's effect is so quick that within a day you will know whether it is suiting you or not. So if listen to your body, and it will tell you. It is not good for you.
If I may add.
Sure, please.
So actually, you see, because you know, yoga is our Indian legacy. So in my opinion, every Indian is yogi. And that's why there are so many schools of yoga and there are so many yogis, and everyone is good. But yes, of course, there should be some certification and some criteria, and that's why nowadays this Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga, as well as I think Ministry of Ayush, they have started some certification program as well as some grading, that this person is of grade 1 yoga expert, this person is of grade 2, something like that. And I think this is a good initiative.
There could be greater awareness on this.
Yoga Guru Hota, do stay on, we'll come back to you momentarily. In the meantime, Munmun, let's pull up some more news for our viewers. Now, this year's Yoga Day theme, as you've been aware, is Yoga for Self and Society. It underscores the holistic benefits of yoga, not just for an individual, but society as a whole. And my colleague Tripti Tripathi highlights India's initiatives to make yoga popular globally.
Over the last decade, Modi government has championed yoga on both national and international stages. The recognition of June 21st as International Yoga Day by the United Nations in 2014 was a significant achievement for India. Yoga has become a symbol of India's ancient wisdom and spiritual heritage, fostering goodwill across borders. In 2023, Guinness World Record was created for most nationalities in a yoga session at the Yoga Day event led by PM Narendra Modi in New York. Another record was created in Surat with 1.53 lakh participants celebrating International Yoga Day. Domestically, the creation of the Ministry of Ayush in 2014 marked a significant step in mainstreaming yoga. This ministry has launched initiatives like Namaste Yoga app, making yoga resources accessible to all. The new Education Policy 2020 also integrates yoga into the school curriculum. Recognized as a sports discipline, yoga is now taught in many universities.
Government of India is also propagating yoga through generation of evidences, yoga effect of yoga on health. For example, in AIIMS Delhi there is a Center for Integrative Medicine Research which is supported by Ministry of Ayush. So that center is doing a lot of research on yoga. NIMANS is doing a lot of research on yoga. There are global institutions, NIH, USA is doing a lot of research on yoga. So basically large-scale evidence generation is also another aspect where we bring yoga into the lives of the people, and that is happening.
Programs like Har Angan Yoga promote yoga at the grassroots level and in workplaces. Initiatives such as Yoga Bharat Mala, Yoga Sagar Mala and Yoga My Pride photography contest further elevates yoga's presence. Ministry of Ayush in collaboration with MyGov has also launched Yoga 2024 quiz based on past International Day of Yoga celebrations. Each participant of the quiz will be rewarded with an e-certificate. Another initiative includes Prime Minister's Award for Yoga that honors significant contributions to the promotion and development of yoga. For International Day of Yoga 2024, the Ministry of Ayush along with the Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga is leading the 100 Days, 100 Cities and the 100 Organizations campaign. This initiative involves mass yoga demonstrations and sessions.
From fostering physical well-being to enhancing India's cultural diplomacy, yoga continues to unite and empower millions across the globe. Tripti Tripathi for DD India.
So let's see how the world is celebrating yoga. The world celebrating the 10th Annual International Yoga Day. At the United Nations in New York, the Indian mission has organized a huge yoga session on the North Lawns. The theme for this year's session is Yoga for Self and Society, as we know. DD India's Jody Jacobs has more from New York.
In 2014, the United Nations declared the 21st of June as the International Day of Yoga, recognizing that yoga provides a holistic approach to one's health and well-being. International Day of Yoga was proposed by India and endorsed by 175 member states. The proposal was first introduced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi during an address to the General Assembly. The 21st of June is particularly significant as it's the longest day of the year and the summer solstice in the Northern Hemisphere. Last year, on these northern lawns here at the United Nations headquarters in New York, Prime Minister Modi joined hundreds of UN staff and diplomats in a yoga session. Since its inception, International Yoga Day has grown significantly. Globally, governments, yoga institutes and individuals plan large-scale yoga classes and cultural gatherings, and the day has developed into a worldwide platform for spreading awareness of yoga and of all its advantages for leading a balanced and healthy life. This year marks the 10th International Day of Yoga, and once again these lawns will be decked with yoga mats as UN officials and diplomats will again participate in a yoga session. The event is organized by the Permanent Mission of India to the United Nations, with the theme this year being Yoga for Self and Society. Jody Jacobs at the United Nations headquarters in New York, reporting for DD India.
So yoga clearly has international appeal, and like Jody was saying, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was there last year on this very day at the North Lawns of the UN headquarters, where there are so many people, including celebrities, who did yoga with him. Well, Ms. Vijay Lakshmi, tell us a little about what you make of the international appeal of yoga. Have people from different nationalities really come to you to ask you for tips or guidance on yoga?
Yes, actually, initially when I started teaching in Delhi when I was, in 80s, those days only foreigners used to come to me, because Indians were never enamored by yoga. Unless it was absolutely necessary, they wouldn't really go for yoga. Whereas I found the foreigners, from all kinds of, from Czechoslovakia, from England, from Finland, people have come to me, and they were so very disciplined about it and so very appreciative about it, that it really feels very, the satisfaction you get by teaching them. But now, of course, Indians are also now, they have joined, a lot of them are joining, but those days, I remember one gentleman, Swedish diplomat from Chanakyapuri, he used to come to my place after his office, and then because I told him that walking is very good, he would walk back to his house in Vasant Vihar. So, they were so, they really appreciate Indian wisdom, Indian listening very much, and it is a pleasure to have them as students. They are very disciplined. Now, of course, I am not complaining about Indians. Now, Indians also have got.
When somebody walks up to you and asks you to, get enroll into a yoga session, what do you tell them? Do you understand the physiology first, or can anybody just walk in and start performing yoga?
No. I have to write down everything. I have a form where I write down everything, what their food habits are, how is their sleep, what are their problems, what medication they are taking. Everything have to be taken into consideration, because even diet is very important. People are having all kinds of, like if you are having acidic food all the time and you have got some pain, it is definitely going to aggravate.
What do you mean by acidic food for the uninitiated?
Sour food, white flour, sugar, these are all acidic food. They make our body acidic. And in 1931, the German scientist Dr. Otto Warburg, he got a Nobel Prize for proving that cancer cells can live only in an acidic medium. They cannot live in an alkaline medium, they die. So, if you make a body acidic, then you are exposing yourself to cancer, you are exposing yourself to all kinds of infections and arthritis, all the pain. Pain gets aggravated if you take anything khatta. That you can see that an arthritic person, if take lemon juice, within minutes the pain will get worse. So
you advise them to change their food habits as well,
yes,
to increase the alkaline levels of the body?
That is part of yoga treatment, because unless somebody, with these problems like cancer and arthritis, any pain, they have to modify their food. Otherwise, yoga's effect will not, yoga cannot have any effect.
So yoga needs to be complemented with the right ways of living.
Yes. And of course, if there is a problem, it's like asthma. Asthma is a mucus producing disease. If you take cold water and curd and all the mucus producing food, then the problem will not go. Because Ayurveda, we in science, they are only concerned with the vitamins and minerals of food. But our system, Ayurveda, they this is mucus producing, this is cough, this is acid producing, this is gas producing. They knew the properties, the real properties of food. And that is why there is Ayurveda, there is a lot of rules and regulations. Winter may you should not have this, summer may you shouldn't have that, all that kind of thing. So we are just imbibing that system.
So in Ayurveda, how many categories can you put a person to? Like, there are three categories.
It is not the person wise. We don't in yoga. We don't put them as person wise. Okay. We just see the disease. What disease is there? You treat the disease, and if the disease goes, then you can go back to your normal food. Right. But even then, I advise everybody to stay away from acidic food, because that is the worst culprit, that worst condition.
So would you recommend people to take alkaline food? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, always.
In general?
Because the chemicals and all the things that are going into our system We take chemicals from water, from air, from food, all kinds of pesticides, insecticides, everything they are going into the system, and the heavy metals are going and they are creating all diseases. Alzheimer is created when there is
so what constitutes alkaline food?
So
examples, yeah.
Yes, so all these things make the body acidic. So alkaline food means mostly fruit and some fruit, vegetables, some nuts. Worst acidic food are the fried food and all the preservative and everything that are put into the food, and white sugar and white flour, they are the worst acidic. And anything that is too sour, like you fry the spices, you make it acidic. You fry vegetables, it becomes acidic, whereas normally vegetables are not acidic. And even in vegetables, some vegetables are very, very alkaline, some are not. So we try to put more alkaline vegetables than the less one, like petha. Petha, you know, it is the most, petha, what is it called, white pumpkin. It is the most alkaline vegetable. So petha everybody should take. Then some green juice, like this you are getting now in the market, the durba juice, and you are getting wheatgrass juice. So some green juice you should take, that is highly alkaline. So even if you are taking some acidic food, take more of alkaline food to neutralize the thing.
So it's important to have a holistic approach towards oneself when one is taking up yoga, is what you're telling us. It's not just important to do the yoga asanas the right way, but also to complement it with the right food habits, etc. So yoga offers a multitude of benefits for children as well, including improved physical fitness, emotional regulation, concentration and self-confidence. It also provides opportunities for social interaction, stress reduction and enhanced body awareness. Kriti Vadhera reports.
The Ministry of Education, in collaboration with Ministry of Ayush and the Morarji Desai National Institute for Yoga, conducts a daily 45-minute TV program on PM E-Vidya channels to raise awareness of yoga among children and adolescents. This program features a live broadcast in which the instructor demonstrates yoga postures.
To keep children and teachers in schooling system healthy and happy, so NCERT has initiated this yoga performance, and we are happy that today we are celebrating 741 episode in the institute, and we have yoga instructors and demonstrators who help us to enable children to learn about various yoga postures and how to keep them healthy.
Schools in New Delhi have organized a week-long campaign to promote yoga, inviting students, parents, grandparents and staff members to participate in yoga sessions as part of the International Yoga Day celebrations.
Teachers, students, families, we bring in everybody. It's basically school and the community together celebrating International Yoga Day.
Yoga helps calm the mind, and especially after tedious studies, a calm mind is always better for mind, and it helps keep your life in balance. So a good balance between studies and relaxation.
Teachers, staff, parents, students, everyone gets to connect in a way that we don't get to do usually. And yoga, the health benefits, and I think meditation in general clears your head up for everything ahead of the day.
I'm extremely passionate about yoga and I love doing it. It's great for my health and I've seen so many benefits since I've started to do yoga. After doing these yoga sessions, I feel like my mind is refreshed.
Yoga is doing more than just keeping kids active. It's helping them find balance and build resilience in their everyday lives. From improved concentration to better stress management, the benefits are clear. Kriti Vadhera's report for DD India.
Right, you're watching a special broadcast here on DD India. We are counting down to the marquee event in Srinagar that will be headlined by India's Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, in just a few minutes from now. Let me go back to our guest, Professor Yadav and Yoga Guru Hota. Professor Yadav, coming to you now. Yoga Guru Hota spoke about how she prefers people to maintain a balance between the acidic or alkaline body constitution. Is that true for modern physiology and modern medicine as well?
Yes, yeah, of course. What ma'am has just said, actually our body is, a healthy body has the pH of alkaline, slightly alkaline. And so any food which is alkaline, of course, that is very good for the healthy body. And in general, any natural food, means fruits, vegetables, any natural food is usually alkaline, except a few like lemon. So if you take any natural food, good, in a natural condition without destroying by cooking and all those, that is alkaline. Any food which we process, whether we cook or processed at a commercial level, then it becomes acidic. So this is a simple definition. Be natural as much as possible.
So if I eat a raw fruit or a raw vegetable that's alkaline, the moment I cook it, it becomes
acidic.
I see.
It is the simpler way to define it. Of course, there are some exceptions. Like I just said, the lemon. Lemon is of course acidic. That is natural, but it is acidic. pH is always less than 5, 4 like this. And our body pH is around 7, 7.4. That is the perfect one. So it is slightly alkaline. So body, if we take any food which is alkaline, towards alkaline side, that is always for a healthier body.
Now, more of the food habits, if one were to have higher energy levels on a daily basis, for instance, so what should be the cuisine combination like? What should be the amount of fruits that one should have, say in the morning or afternoon or day? If you could shed light on that, how to improve your diet essentially so that you are more active, energetic, healthy as a whole, and you can take up yoga asanas, whatever is recommended.
When you do yoga, your digestion also improves. But even then, whenever you are having your food, you should keep your stomach empty, little empty. The Ayurveda also says that 1/4 or 1/3 of the stomach should be kept empty. So if you follow that rule, then it's good enough for you. Just don't fill up your stomach, because then the stomach cannot churn it properly, then food sits in the stomach for longer hours and draws more acid. So if you leave it half empty or 3/4 you full, then the problem will not be there. You will be energetic, more energetic, and no problem.
Munmun, I have to ask a guest one question. I'm just thinking about it myself. Ma'am, how do you look at these popular fads like intermittent dieting, or people choosing to skip dinner altogether? Is that advisable?
For me, one should follow nature. Nature doesn't say this intermittent fasting. It is you.
So you're not in favor of fasting at all?
No, fasting you do automatically when you are not well, you're sick, then body doesn't want to digest any food and your hunger will go. So that is a sign enough that you should not have food. Otherwise, if you have some problems, then 24 hours once a week we recommend always. But otherwise, one should follow nature. Nature way what? You get up in the morning, you feel hungry, you eat. Earlier primitive man also, what did he do? Whenever he felt hungry, he ate. So
follow the sun is what you are saying. Follow the sun. Follow the sun. With
yes,
sunrise you eat. With sunset
and after sunset
conclude.
One should not have food. Or even if you are having, say, don't try to make it late. Take it as early as possible. That is the golden rule, that you eat during the day, evening no food, and even if you are having food, it should be very light so that it is digested in no time. Otherwise, your body will be processing the food at night when it should repair your body, because it is during sleep that the body assesses its damages and its faults and repairs it. And if it is spending that energy in digesting your food, now where is the energy for healing? So you should.
Ms. Hota, is there a complementarity between yoga and other alternative forms of medicine, for instance Ayurveda? Do you see that there is a natural complementarity between the two, and would you recommend some Ayurvedic ways and means of life to somebody who comes to you for yoga, maybe food habits, maybe the body constitution that we were earlier talking about? So if you could tell us a little about that, again a more comprehensive approach that goes beyond yoga to life.
Yes, yoga and Ayurveda are very, very complementary. They both go together. because you as a food, that is or Ayurvedic principles, and so many other things we believe in the Ayurvedic principles, like even massage and the panchakarma that they do, that they all are very good. They take out the toxins from our system. We have in yoga satkarma, it is cleansing techniques, but they can't be done by everybody. But whereas panchakarma most people can do, and the toxins must be out of the system regularly. So once in a while, once a year or so, one should do panchakarma and get rid of all the stored toxins. Otherwise, if your body tissues are poisoned, how can they function well? And we are taking so much of toxins into our system. So even yoga cannot have its full effect if the body is toxic, the blood is toxic. So one has to remove them either by the yogic satkarma or by panchakarma or by fasting. Fasting is also necessary. Fasting is very necessary to purge the toxins. Yes.
Professor Yadav, now when we're talking about the Yoga Day, I have to ask you this. India has a Ministry of Ayush.
Yes.
Now for the benefit of viewers, Ayush is an acronym. It stands for Ayurveda, Yoga, Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy. Now we've spoken about yoga, we've spoken about Ayurveda. Would you like to talk to our viewers about the other aspects or the the related systems of traditional schools of medicine, namely naturopathy and Siddha and Unani and homeopathy as well?
Yes, because the importance of all these are really too high. For example, this yoga and naturopathy, and that's why government has set up one center, that is Center for Research in Yoga and Naturopathy. And as you just said, the Ayush Ministry simply means the Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddhi and Homeopathy. All are important. Of course, as of now, the Ministry of Ayush has already established one of the important institute like All India Institute of Ayurveda, and there is Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga. Unani and Siddhi is not up to that level as the yoga is doing, as the Ayurveda is doing, and of course all are different traditional ways of, you can say, medicine or the health and benefit.
Also, Dr. Yadav, how much do you see the youth interested in yoga these days, and how do you get more and more youth to take up yoga?
Yes, I think nowadays, since 2014, thanks to the government, that now it is being popularized, and more youth are coming and they are joining the yoga courses, they are trying to learn and they are trying to practice it. When I was a school kid, even I remember in class 6th, 7th, 8th, I used to do yoga. It was being taught by the school teachers, and I used to do one of the best asanas was the Sarvang asanas. For that I used to get the best asana student or awarded every time. So when I was a student, at that time I was learning yoga. So of course today more and more school kids, more and more youths, they are joining and they are learning yoga and they are practicing yoga.
Ms. Hota, under the national education policy, yoga has been made part of the school curriculum. How significant to your mind is that? Because you get more and more children to start yoga early, and then there would be health benefits and wellness benefits over the years.
Yoga for children?
Yeah, yoga for children.
Yoga for children is very important because their the tendency, any negative characteristics, whatever they have not crystallized. So when you do yoga at that in the younger age, the body also becomes stronger and it will prevent all diseases, and the mind also becomes positive, and once the mind is positive, you attract everything positive into you. So life becomes better in every field, whether it is your success in your profession or anywhere. Everything positive happens to you when the mind becomes positive, and that is what the children, it's easy to do with children. Because once they do it, then everything, all their problems disappear and they become positive. Their intelligence level also goes up, their memory becomes better. So they will fare better in life. They should, all children should do. Earlier, I think in earlier days, it was mandatory to do Surya Namaskar and this one Gayatri mantra. They were taught when their thread ceremony went. So it was, everybody used to do that early Jamana mein, but now it is not gone. It is good that the children are now doing it. It is very, very important for the society.
We'll
Yes.
take this forward because there are also adolescents and adults who should take up yoga if they haven't already. So we'll discuss that in a bit. But before that, yoga transports us to a state where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. It is not surprising then that this practice transcends borders and is integrating itself into contemporary lifestyles. From corporate settings to the military, yoga has become an integral part of people's everyday lives. Nupur Praveen reports.
As the sun rises on yet another day, millions around the globe are embracing a practice that transcends boundaries and unites minds, bodies and soul, yoga.
Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, recently made a significant statement. He said that yoga is a zero investment method that requires no expenses for good health. The theme for this year's International Yoga Day is also along similar lines, yoga for self and society.
With the International Day of Yoga approaching on June 21st, the spotlight turns to how this ancient discipline is finding a significant role in modern lifestyles.
I've been doing yoga for several years now, and it's been really good for me. I feel really good taking an hour for myself in the morning and then enjoying the rest of the day. It keeps me fit, it keeps me focused, it keeps me, as we say in Hindi, shant.
I've been practicing yoga since 2013. So it's been long, 11 years. I had thyroid and other complexities, and now my parameters are all normal. I feel very energetic and happy the whole day, and I don't miss yoga. Every day I practice.
From office boardrooms to the battlefield, yoga's influence knows no bounds. And then there's laughter yoga, where joy becomes the asana, a state of physical and mental harmony. Infusing traditional yoga with the lightness of laughter, practitioners experience not only the physical benefits but also a profound sense of joy, connection, and an immense inner satisfaction.
Everybody knows that laughter is the best medicine, and if you laugh every day, it will reduce your stress, boost your immune system, and keep your mind positive. Science tells us that if you want to get the health benefits of laughter, you must laugh at least for 10 to 15 minutes. And this is the reason we created laughter yoga. Laughter yoga is a form of exercise where anybody can laugh without jokes, humor and comedies.
As the world prepares to celebrate International Day of Yoga on 21st June, let's take a moment to celebrate India's priceless contribution to the world, a path of unity, well-being and inner harmony. With camera person Mohit, this is Nupur Praveen for DD India in New Delhi.
Yes, so that's more on the benefits of yoga as a whole. Well, Dr. Yadav, on the issue of improving immunity levels, we've seen the kind of havoc that COVID-19 pandemic has played, and we've seen how the various products that the Ayush Ministry came up with did play a role in preventing the disease. How important is yoga for immunity as a whole? And what are some of the yogas that you would recommend, any asanas particularly, to boost immunity?
Yes. As in one of your earlier presentation, you just said that yoga is basically mind-body medicine. So yoga influences our brain, yoga influences our physical body as well as emotional. So it influences physical, mental as well as emotional and social level. What we have observed, and that is well known by different research, that yoga can modify our immunity. And basically, if I can say in one word, that is basically psychoneuroimmunology. Means it influences our thoughts in our brain, our mental activities. Our immune system is, of course, it has different arms across the body. Here, the brain, that influences our immune system in the best possible way. For example, everybody must have experienced when you have cold, common cold. Usually at that time, usually it happens when you are in more stress. Whenever you are in more stress, it may be physical, mental or whatever it is, usually you may have the common cold. And that happens because during stress, the immunity decreases. And it is now, everybody knows that yoga reduces stress. Means it influences our brain, it influences our stress at different levels from here tip to toe. And because it reduces the stress, the immunity is boosted or immunity is boosted. There is an inverse relationship between stress and immunity. And what we have observed that there are different again stress markers, for example like IL-6 in many interleukins. One of the interleukins is IL-6, that is a stress marker, and usually stress and inflammation, these are hand in hand or associated. Some other markers like TNF alpha, and then some body has some endorphins. Endorphins you can say is anti-stress, or simply you can say there are many hormones in body which simply you can say happy hormones.
Right.
Okay. For example, the dopamine, the oxytocin, the serotonin, the endorphins. And what we have observed by different research, that this beta endorphin, to be very precise, it is increased by the yoga based interventions. And beta endorphin is a marker, you can say a type of, you can say happy hormone, you will feel more happy, more wellness, or simply you can say it is anti-stress.
Dr. Yadav, here I have to ask you something. I have been told that one should not combine two different schools of medicine like Ayurveda with modern medicine, allopathy for that matter. Is that true? That suppose I'm diabetic or I have hypertension, if I'm on modern medicine, I should not combine that or supplement that with Ayurvedic medicine. Is that true?
Earlier it used to be said, yeah, of course. But nowadays I think this government also wants, and that's why the different new aims, there are almost 23, 24 aims across this country. Whatever the government is proposing new aims, usually the Ayush block is also being constructed and it is being operationalized whenever there are new aims is being set up. So what does it mean? That yeah, of course, the allopathic medicine as well as there should be some hand in hand, some interactions between the allopathy and the Ayush ministry and the Ayush system. And as we are already doing many research where the yoga is being included as you can say alternative or complementary or supplementary method in any of the diseases.
Do you also recommend or prescribe modern medicine in addition to the ancient Indian school of thought, that's Ayurveda?
Medicines I really don't have much knowledge about, but whenever any patients comes to me and they take some medicine, they are taking medicines, I tell them to continue with it, because when with yoga they will improve, the doctors will themselves withdraw the medicines. So I never say no to any.
So you don't
medicine.
prescribe any medicine at all, neither Ayurveda nor allopathic.
No,
you only
medicine.
focus on the holistic well-being of the body.
Diet, food is the best medicine for me. So I recommend the food that is necessary for them. That's it.
Vijayalakshmi, if you could also demonstrate to us some asana for de-stressing, for quick de-stressing, for maybe in a minute or two, if there is any asana.
Like
you could also perform it looking into the
like
camera.
Instant coffee, is there anything called instant yoga? Which we can do while sitting in the office or at home?
Yes, there are, like if you are sitting all the time, then you are your spine gets pressed, from this, and as gravity is pulling it down. So the vertebra, the discs come closer to each other and they put pressure on the nerves. So sooner or later one can develop back problem. So every now and then you should just stand up and do Tadasana. Tadasana is very easy and you can do standing anywhere. So that is one asana for office people. I always say do Tadasana. That is very important. And another asana, when you are having some back pain, then Makarasana, that also takes a very instant relief. Makarasana is just lying down and you put your hands like this. So that also is, that can be done any time, anywhere, one can do that. But Tadasana, yes, for the back problem, Tadasana is very good.
Any breathing exercise or yoga asana that you can demonstrate to the viewers looking into the camera, ma'am?
Yes.
I know you're not seated in the best form for a yoga asana, but maybe using your hands and your eyes, if you
yes,
could.
I understand. What you can do is, it is called yogic breathing. Yogic breathing, because when you are tense, we don't breathe very well, and the carbon dioxide being a heavier gas, it settles on the lower part of the lungs, which is very bad, because carbon dioxide is poisonous and it is also acidic. So, you remove it from time to time. There is a yogic breathing, we call it. What you do is, you inhale, and first you fill up the lower part of your lungs, inhale more, fill up the middle part, inhale still more, and fill up the upper part. And when you exhale, do in the reverse order, that is, you first exhale from here, then deeply from your stomach. So, that it is like wave breathing, and it removes all carbon dioxide, fills up your lungs with oxygen. So, your body is oxygenated and you are energetic immediately, you feel more energetic, and it produces alpha waves. The yogic breathing, alpha waves. Alpha waves is produced only when you are relaxed, very relaxed, and that puts takes out the pressure from the heart, and it relaxes your body. So, it is a very simple trick for a very big benefit. Inhale, fill up your lower part of your lungs, then the mid portion, then the upper part, and exhale from the upper part, then middle, then lower. It's very good.
Ma'am, for the benefit of viewers watching this broadcast, what would you like to tell those viewers who say, like homeopathy, yoga is slow to manifest in your, the results of the activity manifest after some time, unlike say allopathy where the remedy is instant. So what would you like to tell people who say yoga is slow and it takes time to derive benefits out of yoga?
No. As I said, like even high blood pressure, if it becomes normal within 3 days, then that only shows how quickly it can work. Right. It works like magic. There's no problem. Yes.
As far as impact on various ailments is concerned, you've told us that you've seen people beat even cancer with this. Any of the new age problems that you've seen being treated through yoga or being prevented through yoga? For instance, when the pandemic happened, I'm sure we've seen the kind of chaos that was there around the whole world. So during that time, did you recommend yoga to anyone, and did that help?
Yes, a pandemic, it was more, the stress was more harmful than anything, because everybody is so stressed, and stress means, as the doctor said, stress means immunity goes down like anything. Because I think in 5 minutes, 50,000 units of vitamin A gets depleted during stress. So, in half an hour of stress, you are deficient in the vitamin, and your immune system cannot function without that vitamin. So, it becomes almost crippled. And when you are stressed, obviously you are exposing yourself to all infections. And in yoga, there are very simple tricks to de-stress your mind. One is meditation, of course, but that takes time, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes you have to do. Otherwise, you can do some this abdominal breathing, this one that I told you, the yogic breathing, that takes away the stress immediately. Then there is Om chanting. When you say O, the brain immediately generates alpha waves. So, when you say Ma, it becomes theta. So, such a simple thing, but it removes your stress instantaneously. So, there are many things in yoga that really
and to strengthen your lungs also, because to strengthen one's lungs.
Yes, no, the breathing that I told you, I taught you, that strengthens your lungs, that strengthens your diaphragm, and even it massages your abdominal organs and make them stronger. So, it is a simple trick, but has a lot of benefits.
So, yoga is a combination of art and science, right?
It is science.
It is science.
It is science, yes. Right. Art, of course, you can say it is, but more science than an art.
It's a scientific concept, not just
no. It's because those people had the intuitive knowledge who had devised yoga. I give you one simple example. When a person is lying down, the muscular tension is still 20%, whereas the subject was made to do bhujangasana, that is the cobra pose. One would think the tension would increase, but the tension became zero at the back. Whereas those people have said that these are the asanas that will relax you. But how did they know? They didn't have any scientific gadgets to prove. They just knew it intuitively. So their knowledge was absolute. So they had devised all these things, and whatever they have said is coming true now, but it is being proved.
So this is, Munmun, as they say, this is distilled ancient Indian wisdom, right? Rooted in science.
Absolutely. Now, because of the scientific gadgets, we are discovering them, their worth. But whatever they had said, they are coming true now. Even Veda, whatever they had said, now scientific, NASA is now proving each thing and they are accepting. So, the people were amazing.
Tell us more about how yoga can lead one to mindfulness. Mindfulness.
Mindfulness is you are just you are being aware of everything that you are doing at present. But that way you are not accumulating any karma, no thoughts. You are not storing any thoughts. But that is very difficult. You can maintain it for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. More than that is not very easy, not possible.
Right, and there is a Yoga for Space initiative also that's happening today. All scientists and officials of ISRO will be performing yoga together. The team from the Gaganyaan project will also join this global campaign of the International Day by practicing yoga on the occasion. It's difficult to imagine astronauts, for instance, or aspiring astronauts or scientists doing yoga in a sense, because we've like you said, this is very scientific, more scientific than anything else. So this is also in a way an interplay between modern science and yoga, would you say? How would, for instance, somebody who's traveling into space benefit from yoga?
Space, I think I really do not know, because I have not experimented anything. All these other things that I said, I have myself experimented and experienced both way. But about space, I really can't say much.
Would you like to weigh in on this?
Add here. You see, India is doing great job in the space, and Chandrayaan and all that is the best examples for that. And last year we were at ISRO, and it was discussed that, okay, can the yoga be done in space? One of the important differences in the space is because of the change of gravity. Here we can sit easily. In space there is zero gravity, or you can say microgravity. So it's really difficult to even sit. So then how you can do the yoga? But again, we are doing a lot of research, a lot of proposals that yes, it may be done, it can be done, the yoga can be done even in the space, in the absence of gravity, zero gravity, or simply you can say microgravity. It can be. And we are trying to do that, how it can be.
Great. So do stay on for some more time. Let's pull up some more news coming our way, Monmon. Yoga teachers in Japan, for instance, are hoping they can help the practice break into the mainstream. Now, they say yoga could help the busy working people of Tokyo recover from the stresses of city life, but less than 20% of the population regularly practices it. DD India's Chris Gilbert has more from Tokyo.
It's early on a Tuesday in the heart of the world's biggest metropolis, and Tarun is teaching his students nourishment. He uses yoga to help busy working people win the morning. If they practice regularly, he says yoga can help them win their week, their month, and eventually their whole lives.
If you practice yoga, you will get everything what you need from this life, and you will be the best of your life. I'm not saying to compare to your neighbors or compare to anyone. You will be your best.
Tarun says yoga loves him and has practiced since before he can remember. He wants to share that love in Japan, often appearing on TV, to make it popular. But he says it's not yet broken through into the mainstream.
Yoga needs to get popular in Japan. The peak is not there yet. Not even 20% people are practicing yoga. So we at least need to go 30% of the Japanese population practicing regularly yoga.
There are historical reasons why yoga has struggled to take hold in Japan. Many people here still remember the 1995 sarin gas attacks by the Aum Shinrikyo group, which practiced yoga, and teachers say that led the public to be cautious about the pursuit for many years afterwards, until everything changed in the 2010s when yoga wear became fashionable. That's when apparel brand Lululemon became popular and activewear hit the streets. Tom Wada teaches yoga in Omotesando, Tokyo's fashion hub. He says fashion has helped rehabilitate yoga's image, but it's come with a catch.
The way it's advertised here, if you see an advertisement for yoga studios, it's usually with beautiful female yoga teachers or models, and that's how people see yoga now. I have had people say that, oh, but yoga is for women, right? And so males don't practice.
He says the meditative aspect of yoga could help all Japanese people recover from long work days and stressful city life.
And meditation is giving back to yourself that time, that you are usually giving away to others, like you're giving importance to, let's say, Instagram, or to the company, or to whatever rules that Japan might oppose on you.
Tarun also says he wants his studio to liberate Japanese people from social expectations.
In Japan, most of the time, to kids, they teach dame first, what not to do. I try to teach them what to do.
Hoping to spread his love for yoga and stretch the practice to a wider population. Chris Gilbert in Tokyo, reporting for DD India.
So there is scope to make yoga even more popular in countries like Japan. And on that note, we'll thank Ms. Vijayalakshmi Hota, Yogacharya, for joining us. It was such an enlightening session with you here, with your personal experiences. And I'm sure the audience has gained a lot of knowledge and understanding of yoga and the holistic approach that is needed to be accompanied with yoga for overall health and wellness. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
But we'll request Dr. Yadav to continue to stay with us. This is the 10th International Day of Yoga, and you're watching a special broadcast on this occasion. We are counting down to Prime Minister Narendra Modi leading the 10th International Yoga Day celebrations in Srinagar. We'll get you those live visuals as and when they start coming in. For now, we'll take a breather. We'll be back with lots more. Stay tuned. These acidic.
Let's take a look at what are the benefits that come when we let the nature do its own thing.
It was a dumping ground. So we suggested, rather than doing something ornamental, why not let's plant something, to grow something edible.
Our vision is to make this into a native woodland, a natural woodland that would have been here in the past. So oak, birch, hazel, rowan, holly, all the tree species you'd expect. And the ground is good ground. The trees will do well here.
Palmyra bags, it negates the destruction of the root structure because we do not remove these bags. Over a period of few weeks, it gets totally degraded and mixes with the soil, which also avoids the plastic pollution.
But these are plants that are used to the climate or the environment that they grow. If you didn't water these plants for 3 days, they still know how to grow well and survive.
We just don't bring you the news as it unfolds. We get to the heart of the matter.
We don't just present facts, we demystify complex social, political and economic events.
We break stories that shape the world's present and future because you deserve the truth.
I am Tanvi Taneja from New Delhi.
I'm Ollie Barrett from London.
I'm Nick Harper from Washington, D.C.
Join us on DD India Global Monday to Friday at these times.
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. A world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. Embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress, a voice of unity. Watch Voice of the Global South with me, Akshay Dongre, only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching the continuous coverage here on DD India of the International Day of Yoga, the 10th edition. And we are counting down, Moon, to the marquee event in Srinagar that will be headlined by India's Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi.
Yes, we are waiting for those moments to unfold. Like every year, he'll be leading the International Yoga Day celebrations this year as well. He's also expected to address the people on this occasion. But let's continue our conversation here in the studio with Dr. Rajkumar Yadav, Professor of Physiology, AIIMS. Dr. Yadav, you've had decades of experience. Any most dramatic transformation that you've seen? You know, we see transformations over a period of time. A treatment takes place, maybe in glaucoma, like you said, the eye muscles become strong with yoga exercises. But anything which is really, really dramatic in terms of transformation that you've seen, any case study if you could cite?
Yes. You see, one of the simplest ways to explain the effect of yoga is how it can modify the body weight. You know, in today's, again, the same digital world, obesity is the prevalence, the incidence and prevalence of obesity is increasing dramatically. One of the case studies, if I can say, was that one gentleman, and his BMI was around 40 or 41. You know what is BMI? BMI is body mass index, means your body weight in kilograms divided by your height in square meter. That is BMI. Normal BMI as per WHO, World Health Organization, is up to 25. If it goes beyond 25, from 25 up to 29.9, the BMI is usually considered as overweight. This is as per WHO. And more than 30 is BMI when we say the person is obese. So there are two categories of obesity, you can say, overweight and obese. As per WHO, more than 25, overweight, more than 30, obese. But you know, in India, because this is what we have body structure, it is quite different that the Western population has.
Right.
So we usually follow the concept of ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research. And their BMI is a little bit different, and they say up to 23, BMI up to 23 is normal. From 23 up to 24.9 is overweight. This is as per ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research. And then more than 25 is obese. And then of course more than 30, obese grade 1, then more than 30, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, or morbid obesity, more than 35 or more than 40 is actually morbid obesity. So usually more
that
than
has the potential to kill, you mean?
Up to certain extent, yeah. Because as the BMI increases, the chances of increasing more of the non-communicable diseases, the lifestyle related diseases, chronic diseases, for example, simple as the heart diseases, the cardiovascular diseases, or simply you can say the increased blood pressure, hypertension, high blood pressure, the type 2 diabetes, high blood sugar, all these are non-communicable lifestyle related chronic diseases. So the more BMI, it has been observed that the more BMI, the chances of becoming or suffered with these diseases is much, much higher. So what you just asked, ma'am, and that question was that any specific case report, and one of the gentlemen was, he has, I think BMI was around 40.
Right, Dr. Yadav, do stay on. I'm sorry to interrupt you there.
Yes.
We're getting these latest visuals of India's Information and Broadcasting Minister Ashwini Vaishnav joining the Yoga Day celebrations in India. We'll get you those visuals once again when we can, but those were the visuals, as I said, of India's Information and Broadcasting Minister Ashwini Vaishnav performing the yoga on the International Day of Yoga. And this is the visuals of India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh joining the Indian Army soldiers on the occasion of Yoga Day.
Celebrations are taking place across the country. There are union ministers who are leading celebrations in different parts of the country. We've shown you visuals of Union Information and Broadcasting and Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnav, as now Defence Minister Rajnath Singh performing yoga asanas on the morning of the 21st of June 2024, the 10th International Day of Yoga, an Indian cultural heritage. The theme for this year's Yoga Day is Yoga for Self and Society. And we are counting down to that moment when Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be leading the celebrations once again for the 10th straight year, this time in Kashmir. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is credited for taking yoga to the world. It was his advocacy at the United Nations that led to the passage of a resolution that got support from 170 odd countries. It got overwhelming support there. The 21st of June has since 2015 been celebrated as the International Day of Yoga. Yoga, of course, has therapeutic benefits for one and all.
All right, joining us from Dhaka, Bangladesh is our colleague Naval Singh Parmar. He is joining us from the Shaheed Sohrawardi Indoor Stadium in Dhaka. Naval Singh, good morning to you. How is Dhaka celebrating Yoga Day?
Good morning. Here, enthusiastic environment is there at the Shaheed Sohrawardi Indoor Stadium, Mirpur, Dhaka. More than 1,000 people assembled here in the indoor stadium to celebrate the International Day of Yoga. And very soon the program will start. People from the many organizations which are practicing here in Bangladesh and spreading yoga and yoga-related awareness. It started from 1st of June. And in last 3 weeks, there were many programs in the Dhaka to spread awareness. At the same time, there are other organizations who are working in Chattagram, Silat, Khulna, and Rangpur city. So there also many programs are being organized to celebrate the International Day of Yoga.
Yes, also if you could tell us how people of different faiths, of various walks of life have embraced yoga over the years in Bangladesh.
Yes, here in Bangladesh, around 90% population is Muslim population, and remaining 10% there are Christian, Hindu, and Buddhist. Second number is on the Hindu. But here I have interviewed and I have taken a bite from many people. So I came across the different people from the different faith. Mainly here people are from the Muslim religion, and there are Buddhists as well as Hindus. So the yoga have no religion bar. Everybody from every walk of life, like young to old, then professional, or I just had a talk with the one retired justice, and then one from Bangladesh television. So people from senior people and the young yoga enthusiasts, the girls and women and ladies and the boys and senior aged people. So every walk of life and every religion, people are here and they are very much enthusiastic to celebrate the yoga, and they are here to learn more in the field of yoga. There will be a demonstration, yoga demonstration. Any organization here will demonstrate the yoga food and yoga practice. So they are here to learn something. They believe that yoga helps to maintain balance in the mind as well as body.
Naval Singh, as you've been reporting here on DD India, the Indian High Commission in Dhaka had organized a number of events leading up to the Yoga Day celebrations. Talk to our viewers about what's been planned over the last few days and what are we looking forward to happen where you are.
Yes, first curtain raiser event were held on 1st of June at the Indira Gandhi Cultural Center, Dhaka. And then after next 2 weeks, there were many programs in Dhaka as well as other cities. And Indian High Commission, Assistant High Commission in Chattogram and Sylhet and Khulna, they've also organized many programs. So Indian High Commission is very much involved in spreading yoga-related awareness in Bangladesh, Dhaka as well as other part of Bangladesh. And in the last week there were Eid holiday. There were Eid Adha. So in last week there were very few programs which were held at IGCC. Otherwise, in first 2 weeks of June there were many programs. And after Yoga Day also there are many programs are lined up to spread awareness and to celebrate the International Day of Yoga.
Naval Singh, if you could ask your camera person to show us the gathering that is there performing yoga in Dhaka. If you could ask your camera person to show us those visuals, because that gives us a sense of how people are committed to health and wellness and well-being as a whole in different parts of the world. Yes, I'm sure you are handling the camera yourself, so if you could just pan the camera while talking about the participation.
Yes, here people are assembling now, and it will start at 7:30. So many organizations are working in Bangladesh to spread awareness regarding the yoga. So these people are from this organization, and I'm sure it will start in a few minutes. The Minister of State for Cultural Affairs is the chief guest here in this program. So Indian High Commission and the other dignitaries and guests will arrive very soon, and the program will start at 7:30.
Absolutely. Very efficient camera work, we must say, and a very happy International Yoga Day to you. You're telling us that at 7:30 the event begins. Well, thank you for joining us, Naval Singh from Dhaka.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar participated in celebrations in New Delhi. Union ministers are leading Yoga Day celebrations in different parts of the country. We've earlier seen Dr. Ashwini Vaishnav, and after that Rajnath Singh, and now Dr. S. Jaishankar practicing yoga on International Yoga Day. And Union Minister Piyush Goyal performing yoga on the 10th International Yoga Day. These are visuals are coming in from Mumbai. Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal leading International Yoga Day celebrations in Mumbai.
Right, let's take a breather and pull up some more news for those of you who are joining us this special broadcast. Now, once a practice shrouded in ancient Indian wisdom, yoga has transformed into a global phenomenon. But its significance extends far beyond individual fitness. Yoga has become a powerful tool for India's soft power diplomacy, fostering cultural exchange and enhancing the country's image globally.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lead the International Yoga Day celebrations in Srinagar, marking its significance at the world stage. The seeds of yoga diplomacy were sown decades ago, but it wasn't until 2014 that it blossomed on the world stage. PM Modi spearheaded the initiative to declare June 21st as International Yoga Day at the United Nations. This move not only highlighted yoga's cultural heritage but also positioned it as a unifying force for global health. The overwhelming international participation in subsequent celebrations is a testament to yoga's universal appeal. Several factors contribute to yoga's global success story. Unlike many fitness trends, yoga offers a holistic approach combining physical postures, breathing exercises, meditation, and ethical principles. This caters to a wide range of needs from improving physical fitness to reducing stress and promoting mental clarity. Additionally, yoga requires minimal equipment and adapts to different abilities and ages, making it accessible to a broad audience. But yoga diplomacy goes beyond simply promoting poses on a mat. It serves as a platform for cultural exchange and building bridges between India and other nations. Yoga classes organized by Indian embassies bring people together, fostering understanding and appreciation for Indian culture. Furthermore, yoga's emphasis on holistic wellness resonates with the growing global focus on mental health. By sharing this expertise, India positions itself as a leader in promoting well-being on a global scale. Bureau Report, DD India.
All right, joining us this moment is another guest. Ambassador C.M. Bhandari is joining us. He is a yoga guru and a former diplomat. He joins us from Canada. Ambassador Bhandari, welcome to this special broadcast here on DD India. Are you with us? Can you hear us?
Yes, thank you. Yes, I
Great. Good to have you join this broadcast, Ambassador Bhandari. First of all, we just played out a news report for our viewers that spoke about India's soft power diplomacy using yoga as a diplomatic tool. Now, would you say that yoga is truly India's gift to the world?
Absolutely, yes. There is no need to repeat it because yoga is actually a science of the holistic existence of an individual. It's not just the individuals from India. All human society across the world, across the Brahmand, so to say. So our Vedic literature is... Sorry.
Please carry on.
Yeah. I'm sorry, there is some clash. I can hear the Hindi part also. Anyway, so therefore, in my overseas assignments, especially when I was in Canada way back in 1998 to 2002, at that time I had written a book, and at that time, in US, it was already 15 million people were involved with yoga practice in one way or the other, 15 million way back in 2001. So my last posting was in Poland, 2007 to 2009. And even in a country like Poland that used to be the part of the Soviet Union, a communist country before, that there are strong yoga practice traditions. And across Europe, actually we have a center in Poland, and because of that center, I am a member of the European Yoga Confederation. And I have seen yoga centers in Germany, in Spain, in Portugal, in France, across. So overseas, the yoga practice is definitely now very much in vogue, very much in public life. And gradually after our Prime Minister brought it, to the United Nations, and following that in 2016, even in UNESCO, yoga was accepted as intangible heritage of humanity.
True.
So,
yes. Yes, Ambassador, such a pleasure to see you this morning on Yoga Day like every year. And you're somebody who never keeps us bereft of yoga asanas on the International Yoga Day mornings. So please do Any
I'll-
sort of
I'll just-
demonstration that you would like today for us from there? Because I know you're already seated for the occasion.
No, I'm not seated for doing a demonstration. I just arrived in Toronto 4 hours back after 24 hours, journey time. So, but anyway, but I'm very happy to share, few things that yoga needs to be, taken to much, much higher levels, where yoga can be really the soft diplomacy to bring a world peace, so to say. Because if we can unite people's thought process, so currently the thought process is always a major issue, that each individual country is looking only its own interests. But yoga helps us to bring together and think of the sarve bhavantu sukhino sarve santu niramaya, that concept, that let's think of the welfare of the whole not just the human society, but the entire living society, so to say. So therefore, this is the heritage, and currently the need is that we present yoga as a highly evolved science. So yoga has to be seen in complete combination with Ayurveda, because through Ayurveda we can look after the physical health of the body, and through yoga we look after the health of mind and beyond mind. So how this thought process is taking place, who is involved in the thought process, who is involved in decision making. So these are the kind of aspects of an individual's daily, work, which the person is not clear how it is happening. Through yoga science, we are exactly able to tell people the role of senses, the role of mind, the role of intellect, the role of the memory plane, and then the role of the soul in the body, and how the soul is sometimes in the spectator mode, and continuously also it's the action mode. So these are the deeper aspects, what is called the inner engineering. Actually, these days this term is very very much in use. That what is the inner engineering? So the inner engineering is that this central part of the body is involved with the manufacturing and maintenance of the physical health of the body. This head part of us, where we have the mind seat is right here on the what is called the third eye, and the middle center part of our brain, where all our knowledge is enshrined, and where the intellect is using that knowledge and in decision making process. And the soul is residing, of course, in the center here, not in the physical heart, but in the center of this sternum, where there is a dip right here, what is also called the Anahat chakra. And then how this soul, combining with our thought process, becomes a active person. And when we can remove our desires, then this soul becomes a spectator. So meditation is the process where we put this active person who is pursuing the desires into the spectator mode, where the person can reflect on his own actions and see where he has gone wrong, where he is right. And through that process, we try to find solutions for all our stress factors. So this is how yoga, when we take it beyond the physical asanas and we take it to the pranayam process and the meditation process, and then beyond that also, in realizing our dreams. So how we can manage our worldly life, and then how we can also individually remain a calm and composed person who is always in balance. So that is really the depth of yoga practice, which can help us lead a very purposeful life.
Indeed. Ambassador Bhandari, you practice yoga. You have been a practitioner of diplomacy. So I have to ask you this. As you mentioned correctly, that yoga is an intangible heritage of humanity. And Prime Minister Modi, for one, has spoken about how India chose not to invoke IPR on yoga or copyright on yoga. In fact, it's distributed, gifted yoga to the world, as it were. In that context, do you think yoga is a perfect example, a good example of how India and much of the world can go back to ancient Indian wisdom, the scriptures and texts, and use that in shaping the future world?
Exactly. And I can tell you, I'm running now full time this yoga program in a scientific way. So we are using yoga and Ayurveda together, and we are able to look after the health of people, where actually the health issues are not in the physical body. The health issues are involved because of restrictive pranic flow. Now, in restrictive pranic flow, which means the nervous system is not working, the medicines cannot do anything.
Dr. Yadav wants to leave.
And if there is problem in the thought process, now thought process also the medicines will not help. Here, it's the yogic practices only that are able to, because these are subtle activities which are not directly involved with the physical elements in the body. So therefore, this part is universally applicable, and if we can scientifically explain to people, I have done it I was ambassador in UAE, and I found that my friends, Arab friends, had no difficulty in, practicing it, because I showed it that it is just you and your body, whatever is going on inside you. We are not discussing any religion or any religious practice or any faith in it. It's just the science and the ultimate science, especially how we understand God and how we understand the soul. And then do we accept that there is life after death, which is called the punarjanma, reincarnation. So ये सब चीजें we can precisely explain the science, how it is happening, and where we don't bring any religious beliefs, or we are not talking that this is because of the then limited Indian thought process or our Hindu way of life. So we are saying this is what humanity, and that's how actually in 2016 ICCR had sent me to UNESCO to make a presentation where it wasn't so much about the yoga asanas, where it was really this science of the person in this body who actually determines my character and my personality, which is interactive with others. My physical stature is not directly active. It's just my presentation, my identity. But my real active personality is what my thought process is, how I can see things. And this really determines the field of yoga. And when we deal like this, then we can transform our own thought process. We can, who all are connected with us, we can, be very understanding. Even if we don't agree on certain matters, we always agree to disagree and yet remain good friends. So that is what we need. And that is what I think our Prime Minister is doing, that he is friends with all world leaders, whether we accept on issues or we don't. But we at least, maintain good friendship. So this is how I really see that yoga as a soft power is becoming a very powerful tool to unite the world leaders and people in general.
Ambassador Bhandari, please stay with us. Let's take a question from one of the guests in the studio who also has to leave. So a parting shot really. Any sort of a global study or an Indian study which is on for the future, in a sense, with a futuristic point of view, to get more and more people around the world to join yoga and the benefits that would accrue, because stress levels are increasing, conflicts are increasing around the world. So how do you get more and more people to join in, and if they do join, what is the kind of transformation at a global level that one can expect? If there is any sort of a study which has begun or which could begin in future on it?
Yep. In this today's digital world, the most important or the problem is the stress. And stress is global, across the globe, in each and every country, in almost every citizen has stress of different grades. Here the yoga can, one of the best ways whatever we have to modify the stress. And one of the studies which we are planning actually here is to use the AI, artificial intelligence. And of course this is at the planning mode. How this artificial intelligence can be used in yoga, and of course, and once the AI is there, the influence of yoga across the globe is much bigger, and of course the youth and the younger generation, they are very much attracted because of this interaction between yoga and AI, if possible.
Thank you, Dr. Yadav, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Indeed, thank you. In the meantime, we're getting you these latest visuals, this time from Srinagar, of the International Day of Yoga celebrations. Remember, it's the 10th edition this year, and the theme of the Yoga Day this year is Yoga for Self and Society.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi leading International Yoga Day celebrations for the 10th year in a row, this time in Srinagar. You would remember that the Prime Minister was at the UN headquarters last year. This year he's in Srinagar. He's been to different parts of the country in the past as well, leading celebrations year after year on the 21st of June. It was his advocacy at the United Nations that led to passage of resolution that got overwhelming support of various countries, and finally 21st June came to be celebrated as the International Yoga Day. It was in 2015 when this particular International Day was first celebrated, and since then, year after year, we are seeing people around the world gathering on the morning of the 21st of June, particularly to celebrate this day by performing yoga for their health, well-being, for their mindfulness. Now, Lieutenant Governor of J&K Union Territory, Manoj Sinha, taking the podium to address the gathering.
मैं आध्यात्मिक साधना के केंद्र जम्मू कश्मीर में आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का और सभी योग प्रेमियों का स्वागत और अभिनंदन करता हूँ। 10वें अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस के मुख्य आयोजन की मेजबान राष्ट्र के सिरमौर जम्मू कश्मीर को मिलना हम सबके लिए अत्यंत सौभाग्य और गौरव का विषय। प्रधानमंत्री जी का जम्मू कश्मीर के प्रति नागरिकों और योग प्रेमियों की तरफ से मैं धन्यवाद करता हूँ। इस सम्मान के लिए उनके प्रति हृदय से कृतज्ञता व्यक्त करता हूँ। अध्यात्म की धारा के लिए आज का दिन ऐतिहासिक है। डल झील के किनारे बड़ी संख्या में योगाभ्यास करने के लिए लोग इकट्ठे थे। भगवान इंद्र की कृपा के कारण डल झील के किनारे ये कार्यक्रम नहीं हो सका। हम सभागार में कर रहे हैं, लेकिन अभी भी हजारों की संख्या में योग प्रेमी बहादुर के किनारे खड़े हैं। सभी 20 जिलों में लगभग 50,000 से ज्यादा लोग इस योग प्रेम की भावना से वर्चुअल माध्यम से जुड़े संपूर्ण विश्व इस बात का साक्षी है कि आध्यात्मिक ऊर्जा से सराबोर जम्मू कश्मीर से माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का बहुत गहरा लगाव है। इस संघ राज्य क्षेत्र के प्रत्येक नागरिक का उत्थान सदैव उनकी सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता रही। उन्होंने हमेशा इस बात की चिंता की है कि आवाम की सभी आशाओं और आकांक्षाओं की पूर्ति हो तथा एक स्वस्थ, सशक्त एवं आत्मनिर्भर जम्मू कश्मीर का निर्माण मैं कर सकता हूँ। उसी दिशा में 10वें अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस के आयोजन में जम्मू कश्मीर की विकास यात्रा में एक नया आयाम जोड़ा है। मैं फिर से अपनी ओर से जम्मू कश्मीर के सभी योग प्रेमी और नागरिकों की ओर से आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का हृदय से स्वागत करता हूँ, अभिनंदन करता हूँ। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद उपराज्यपाल महोदय। Ladies and gentlemen, Ministry of Ayush under the guidance of Honorable Minister of State Ayush is all geared up for this global celebration, bringing millions together to embrace health. I request Minister Sir for his address, please.
आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी, जम्मू कश्मीर के उपराज्यपाल श्री मनोज सिन्हा जी, योग दिवस के उपलक्ष्य पर उपस्थित योग गुरु, सभी अधिकारीगण, मीडिया के सहयोगी तथा मेरे प्यारे साथियों, नमस्कार। आप सभी को 10वें अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस के अवसर पर बधाई और शुभकामना। मैं अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग महोत्सव के अवसर पर सभी उपस्थित लोगों की बहुत बहुत सराहना करना चाहूंगा, जिन्होंने भारी बारिश होने के बावजूद भी अपने साहस और उत्साह को बनाए रखा। यह हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के लिए प्रेम और विश्व योग दिवस के प्रति आपका समर्पण अटूट दर्शाता है। इसके लिए मैं आपका हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के साथ अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस के अवसर पर उपस्थित होने पर मैं अपने आप को गौरवान्वित महसूस कर रहा हूँ। मुझे आज यहाँ धरती पर स्वर्ग श्रीनगर में उपस्थित इस जन समूह को संबोधित करते हुए अत्यंत प्रसन्नता हो रही है। हम सब जानते हैं कि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के अथक प्रयासों के प्रत्येक वर्ष अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस के आयोजन की यात्रा वर्ष 2015 से शुरू हुई है। इस वर्ष योग का विषय स्वयं और समाज के लिए योग, जिसमें योग की परिवर्तनकारी शक्ति को सुंदर ढंग से दर्शाया गया है। योग से हमारा अंतःकरण संतुलित होता है और हम अपने आप को स्वस्थ महसूस करते हैं। जब बच्चे, बड़े, युवा या बुजुर्ग हर कोई योग से जुड़ता है तो पूरे समाज में ऊर्जा का संचार होता है। इसलिए इस बार का योग दिवस भावनात्मक योग का भी दिन है। हमारी सामाजिक एकजुटता को बढ़ाने का भी दिन है। एक साथ योग का अभ्यास करके हम मतभेदों को दूर करते हैं, सामुदायिक भावना को बढ़ावा देते हैं और एक मजबूत तथा संगठित समाज का निर्माण करते हैं। योग एक और जहाँ यह शारीरिक, मानसिक और आध्यात्मिक विकास को बढ़ावा देकर व्यक्ति का पोषण करता है, वही दूसरी ओर यह समाज को एकता और कल्याण में भी योगदान देता है। योग सद्भावना और सहानुभूति की संस्कृति को बढ़ावा देकर दूसरों के प्रति करुणा और सहानुभूति को प्रोत्साहित करता है। योग हमारे आत्मविश्वास और मनोबल को विकसित करने में भी मदद करता है, ताकि हम अपने रोजमर्रा की परेशानियों पर विजय प्राप्त कर सके। योग हमें मानसिक शांति देता है और अनुशासन तथा सहन शक्ति विकसित करने में भी हमारी मदद करता है। मुझे योग दिवस 2024 के अवसर पर कई नई पहलों को देखकर खुशी हो रही है। इनमें अंतरिक्ष में योग डे, परिवार के साथ योग इत्यादि शामिल है। दुनिया भर के लोग अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस को मनाने के लिए इस तरह की सार्थक गतिविधियों के साथ साथ सौहार्दपूर्ण योग प्रदर्शनों में भाग लेने के लिए उत्साहपूर्वक आगे आ रहे हैं। यह उत्साह इसे एक अद्वितीय वैश्विक आयोजन बनाता है। आयुष मंत्रालय योग के बारे में जागरूकता बढ़ाने और लोगों को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस 2024 के लिए तैयार होने और इसमें सक्रिय भागीदारी बनाने के लिए प्रेरित करने हेतु परिवार के साथ योग वीडियो प्रतियोगिता का भी आयोजन कर रहा है। मुझे यह बताते हुए प्रसन्नता हो रही है कि आयुष मंत्रालय भारत सरकार योग के प्रचार और विकास में उत्कृष्ट योगदान के लिए प्रधानमंत्री पुरस्कार की मेजबानी कर रहा है। योग डे चैलेंज 2024 के तहत योग से संबंधित प्रौद्योगिकी और उत्पादों का नवाचार और विकास करने के लिए एक प्रतियोगिता का आयोजन किया जा रहा है। जब हम योग और कर्मयोग की भावना के साथ आगे बढ़ते हैं तो एक व्यक्ति के रूप में, एक समाज के रूप में, एक देश के रूप में हमारी शक्ति भी कई गुना बढ़ जाती है। आज हमें इसी भावना के साथ संकल्प लेना है कि हम अपने स्वास्थ्य के लिए, अपनों के स्वास्थ्य के लिए हर संभव प्रयास करेंगे। हम एक सजग नागरिक के रूप में अपने परिवार और समाज को साथ लेकर आगे बढ़े। आइए योग की अपनी दिनचर्या का हिस्सा बनाए या संकल्प ले और अधिक से अधिक लोगों को स्वास्थ्य और आरोग्य के इस जन आंदोलन से जुड़ने के लिए प्रोत्साहित करें। यह वास्तव में बहुत खुशी की बात है कि बड़ी संख्या में योग विशेषज्ञ, चिकित्सा पेशेवर, वैज्ञानिक, शोधकर्ता, शिक्षाविद, योग समर्थक और छात्र इस आयोजन में भाग ले रहे। हम स्वयं और समाज के लिए योग को अपने जीवन का हिस्सा बनाने का प्रयास करेंगे। अगर हम ऐसा करते हैं तो हम निश्चित रूप से सफल होंगे। इसी विश्वास के साथ मैं आप सभी को पुनः अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस की बहुत बहुत शुभकामना देता हूँ। जय हिंद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मंत्री महोदय। जैसे कि हम सब जानते हैं कि हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी स्वयं एक सच्चे योग साधक हैं और आप योग को सही अर्थों में प्रस्तुत करते हैं। मैं आभार आमंत्रित करती हूँ माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को कि वह अपने संबोधन से हमारा मार्गदर्शन करें।
अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस पर मुझे योग और साधना की भूमि कश्मीर में आने का सौभाग्य मिला है। कश्मीर और श्रीनगर का ये वातावरण, ये ऊर्जा और अनुभूति, योग से हमें जो शक्ति मिलती है, श्रीनगर में हम उसे महसूस कर रहे हैं। मैं देश के सभी लोगों को, दुनिया के कोने कोने में योग कर रहे लोगों को कश्मीर की धरती से योग दिवस की बधाई देता हूं। साथियों, इंटरनेशनल योगा डे 10 वर्ष की ऐतिहासिक यात्रा पूरी कर चुका है। 2014 में मैंने यूनाइटेड नेशंस में इंटरनेशनल योगा डे का प्रस्ताव रखा था। भारत के इस प्रस्ताव का 177 देशों ने 177 समर्थन किया था और ये अपने आप में एक रिकॉर्ड था। तब से योग दिवस लगातार नए रिकॉर्ड बनाता जा रहा है। 2015 में दिल्ली में कर्तव्य पथ पर 35,000 लोगों ने एक साथ योग किया। ये भी एक विश्व रिकॉर्ड था। पिछले साल मुझे अमेरिका में यूएन हेडक्वार्टर्स में योग दिवस के आयोजन का नेतृत्व करने का अवसर मिला था। इसमें भी 130 से ज्यादा देशों के लोगों ने भाग लिया था। योग की ये यात्रा अनवरत जारी है। भारत में आयुष विभाग ने योग प्रैक्टिशनर्स के लिए योगा सर्टिफिकेशन बोर्ड बनाया है। मुझे खुशी है कि आज देश में 100 से ज्यादा बड़े संस्थानों को इस बोर्ड से मान्यता मिल चुकी है। विदेश के 10 बड़े संस्थानों ने भी भारत के इस बोर्ड से मान्यता प्राप्त की है। साथियों, आज पूरी दुनिया में योग करने वालों की संख्या निरंतर बढ़ रही है। योग के प्रति आकर्षण भी बढ़ रहा है। योग की उपयोगिता के संबंध में भी जन सामान्य कन्विंस हो रहा है। मैं विश्व में हर जगह जितने भी ग्लोबल लीडर से मिलता हूं, जहां भी जाता हूं, शायद ही कोई एक आध मिल जाएगा जो मेरे से योग की बात न की हो। दुनिया के सभी वरिष्ठ नेता जब भी मौका मिलता है मेरे से योग की चर्चा जरूर करते हैं और बड़ी जिज्ञासा से सवाल पूछते हैं। दुनिया के कितने ही देशों में योग डेली लाइफ का हिस्सा बन रहा है। मुझे याद है मैंने 2015 में तुर्कमेनिस्तान में योग सेंटर का उद्घाटन किया था। आज वहां योग बेहद पॉपुलर हो चुका है। तुर्कमेनिस्तान की स्टेट मेडिकल यूनिवर्सिटी में भी योग थेरेपी को शामिल किया गया है। सऊदी अरब ने तो योग को अपने एजुकेशन सिस्टम में भी शामिल किया है। मंगोलिया में भी मंगोलियन योग फाउंडेशन के तहत कई योग स्कूल चलाए जा रहे हैं। यूरोपियन देशों में भी योग का चलन तेजी से बढ़ा है। जर्मनी में आज करीब 1.5 करोड़ लोग योग प्रैक्टिशनर बन चुके हैं। आपको ध्यान होगा इसी साल भारत में फ्रांस की 101 साल की एक महिला योग टीचर को पद्मश्री अवार्ड दिया गया था। वो कभी भारत नहीं आई थी, लेकिन उन्होंने योग प्रचार के लिए अपना पूरा जीवन समर्पित कर दिया है। आज विश्व के बड़े बड़े इंस्टीट्यूशंस और यूनिवर्सिटीज में योग पर रिसर्च हो रहे हैं, रिसर्च पेपर पब्लिश हो रहे हैं। साथियों, बीते 10 वर्षों में योग का ये जो विस्तार हुआ है, उससे योग से जुड़ी धारणाएं बदली हैं। योग अब सीमित दायरे से बाहर निकल रहा है। आज दुनिया एक नई योग इकोनॉमी को आगे बढ़ने में देख रही है। आप देखिए, भारत में ऋषिकेश, काशी से लेकर केरला तक योग टूरिज्म का नया ट्रेंड देखने को मिल रहा है। दुनिया भर से टूरिस्ट इसलिए भारत आ रहे हैं क्योंकि उन्हें भारत में ऑथेंटिक योग सीख रहा है। आज योग रिट्रीट बन रहे हैं, योगा रिसोर्ट बन रहे हैं। एयरपोर्ट में, होटल्स में योग के लिए डेडिकेटेड फैसिलिटीज बनाई जा रही है। मार्केट में योग के लिए डिजाइन परिधान, एपरल्स, इक्विपमेंट आ रहे हैं। लोग अब अपनी फिटनेस के लिए पर्सनल योग ट्रेनर्स भी रख रहे हैं। कंपनियां भी एम्प्लॉय वेलनेस इनिशिएटिव के तौर पर योग और माइंडफुलनेस प्रोग्राम शुरू कर रही है। इन सब ने युवाओं के लिए नए अवसर बनाए हैं, युवाओं के लिए रोजगार के मौके बनाए हैं। फ्रेंड, द थीम ऑफ दिस ईयर्स इंटरनेशनल डे ऑफ योगा इज योगा फॉर सेल्फ एंड सोसाइटी। The world is looking at yoga as a powerful agent of global good. Yoga helps us live in the present moment without baggage of the past. It connects us with ourselves and our deepest feelings. It brings about oneness of the mind, body, and soul. Yoga helps us realize that our welfare is related to the welfare of the world around us. When we are peaceful within, we can also make a positive impact on the world. साथियों, योग केवल एक विद्या नहीं, बल्कि सूचना क्रांति के इस दौर में हर और सूचना संसाधनों की बाढ़ है। ऐसे में मानव मस्तिष्क के लिए एक विषय पर फोकस कर पाना एक बड़ी चुनौती साबित हो रहा है। इसका भी निदान हमें योग से मिलता है। हम जानते हैं एकाग्रता मानव मन की सबसे बड़ी ताकत है। योग ध्यान के जरिए हमारा ये सामर्थ्य भी निखरता है। इसलिए आज आर्मी से लेकर स्पोर्ट्स तक में योग को शामिल किया जा रहा है। स्पेस प्रोग्रेस में भी जो एस्ट्रोनॉट्स को ट्रेनिंग दी जाती है, उन्हें भी योग और ध्यान की ट्रेनिंग दी जाती है। इससे प्रोडक्टिविटी भी बढ़ती है, सहन शक्ति भी बढ़ती है। आजकल तो कई जेलों में कैदियों को भी योग कराया जा रहा है ताकि वो सकारात्मक विचारों पर अपने मन को केंद्रित कर सके। यानी योग समाज में सकारात्मक बदलाव के नए रास्ते बना रहा है। साथियों, मुझे विश्वास है योग की ये प्रेरणा हमारे सकारात्मक प्रयासों को ऊर्जा देती रहेगी। साथियों, आज थोड़ा विलंब हुआ क्योंकि वर्षा ने कुछ बाधाएं पैदा की, लेकिन कल से मैं देख रहा हूं पूरे जम्मू कश्मीर में, श्रीनगर में योग के प्रति जो आकर्षण बना है, जिस उमंग और उत्साह के साथ लोग योग के साथ जुड़ने के लिए आतुर हैं, ये अपने आप में जम्मू कश्मीर के टूरिज्म को भी एक नई ताकत देने का अवसर बन गया है। मैं आज इस कार्यक्रम के बाद ऐसे जो योग से जुड़े लोग हैं उनको मिलकर के ही जाऊंगा। बारिश के कारण हमें इस खंड में आज इस कार्यक्रम को करना पड़ रहा है, लेकिन मैं मानता हूं कि जम्मू कश्मीर में 50-60 हजार लोगों का योगा कार्यक्रम में जुड़ना ये बहुत बड़ी बात है। और इसलिए मैं जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों को बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। इसी के साथ आप सभी को एक बार फिर योग दिवस की बहुत बहुत बधाई। पूरे विश्व के योग प्रेमियों को मेरी बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
आपके आशीर्वचनों के लिए सहृदय धन्यवाद माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी। Ladies and gentlemen, we now head towards the live practice of the Common Yoga Protocol. Now I request Dr. Kashinath Samgandi, Director, Morarji Desai National Institute.
नमस्कार, आप देख रहे हैं हमारा ये खास कार्यक्रम अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस पर.
All right, and that was the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who was speaking on the 10th International Day of Yoga. He also congratulated everyone on 10th International Day of Yoga and also said that since its inception, new records are being made every year. He also said that with each passing year, people are taking up yoga as part of their life and showing keen interest in the same. PM Modi also said that yoga is gaining massive popularity, not just in India, but across the world. He added that the way yoga has expanded in our last 10 years has changed the mindset of the people for yoga for good. And while highlighting the theme of this year, which is yoga for self and society, PM Modi said that we all can make a positive impact on society through yoga. He also said that the way people in Jammu and Kashmir have shown interest in yoga is certainly incredible. Well, continuing our conversation, we have Dr. Sunil M. Raheja, who is ex-medical superintendent, GV Pant Hospital, and also senior physician. We also have former diplomat, CM Bhandari, Yoga Guru. He is also joining us from Canada. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining in on this special occasion today. It's 10th International Day of Yoga. A very good day, inspires everyone, not just in the country, but across the world. But I would like to ask you first, Mr. Raheja, this year's theme, let's begin with that. Yoga for self and society. How do you analyze it?
Yes, this is a very, very great day for us, 21st June being the longest day. And the theme for this year is Yoga for self and society.
Yeah.
And as we know, yoga unites.
Indeed.
Yoga means to unite to yourself, to your body, mind, soul, and bringing out the positive thinking among the society. So, if you think positive and good for each other, the society will grow and they will work for the welfare of the humanity, for the welfare of the citizen, for the welfare of the underprivileged, for the welfare of the nation and for the world. So, yoga itself is a science which calms our nerves, like it decreases our stress levels.
Certainly.
It's a way of living basically. Yoga is basically how you live, and there are different yam, niyama, the different this thing. So, if you apply all these together, yoga integrates oneself to oneself and to the society also. So, yoga itself means to unite, and it's an ancient science. Shiva was the first yogi, as we know, and it has been for centuries. Yoga has been doing a service to the humanity, and we can always feel that being in harmony, yoga is very important because it cuts down on our stress hormones.
Correct.
Like noradrenaline, adrenaline,
and
cortisol
stress is
levels,
a major problem these days.
And all these hormones, they increase our blood pressure, heart rate, coronary artery disease, and also all these stresses, they lead to the lifestyle disorders also, like hypertension, coronary artery disease, diabetes, cancers, anxiety, depression, sleeplessness,
and which is very common these days in modern world.
So, I think yoga really does wonder. Even myself is doing yoga for 2 decades and more, and I always stay cool, calm, fit and healthy.
So, what advice do you give to patients who come to you? Do you advise them to take allopathic medicine or rely more on yoga?
I tell them a holistic approach. I tell them at least give 1 hour to yourself, to your body, to your mind, to your soul out of the 24 hours. 23 hours you may be working, sleeping, eating, whatever you do, but at least give 1 hour, and yoga is an integral part of it, because yoga has wide range of exercises, movements.
All right, stay with us. Let's go across to Srinagar, where Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is there in the event of the 10th International Day of Yoga.
श्वास को भरते हुए सिर को एंटी क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन में लेके जाइए और धीरे धीरे श्वास छोड़ते हुए सिर को आगे की तरफ। एक और बार धीरे धीरे श्वास लेते हुए गर्दन को ऊपर और श्वास छोड़ते हुए गर्दन को नीचे। और अब दोनों हाथों को नीचे की ओर लेके जाइए और सामान्य स्थिति में विश्राम कीजिए। अगला अभ्यास स्तंभ संचालन का अभ्यास करेंगे। जिसे भी गर्दन में दर्द है, कंधों में दर्द है, ऐसे व्यक्ति सावधानी के साथ इसका अभ्यास करना है। श्वास भरते हुए धीरे धीरे दोनों हाथों को साइड से सिर के ऊपर लेके जाइए और दोनों हाथों का हथेलियों का मुख बाहर की दिशा में हो और कंधे शिथिल हो और धीरे धीरे श्वास छोड़ते हुए दोनों हाथों को नीचे की ओर लेके आइए। एक और बार इसका अभ्यास करेंगे। धीरे धीरे श्वास लेते हुए दोनों हाथों को ऊपर और धीरे धीरे श्वास छोड़ते हुए दोनों हाथों को नीचे। अगला अभ्यास स्कंद चक्र अभ्यास। धीरे धीरे दोनों हाथों को बगल में से कंधों के समान अंतर लेके जाइए। हथेलियों का मुख ऊपर की ओर रखें और दोनों हाथों को कोहनी से मोड़ते हुए दाएं हाथ को दाएं कंधे पर और बाएं हाथ को बाएं कंधे पर स्थापित करें और दोनों कोहनी को छाती के सामने लेके आइए और धीरे धीरे दोनों कोहनी को घड़ी की सुई के समान घुमाइए। इसका अभ्यास एक और बार करेंगे। पूरा ध्यान कंधों पर और विपरीत दिशा में भी इसका अभ्यास करिए। धीरे धीरे श्वास लेते हुए ऊपर और श्वास छोड़ते हुए नीचे और दोनों हाथों को श्वास छोड़ते हुए नीचे लेके आइए और सामान्य स्थिति में विश्राम कीजिए। अगला अभ्यास कटी चालन का अभ्यास। दोनों पैरों को कंधों के समान अंतर रखें। दोनों हाथों को सामने से ऊपर कंधों के समान अंतर लेके आइए। हथेलियां के मुख अंदर की तरफ रहे और धीरे धीरे श्वास छोड़ते हुए दाएं तरफ राइट साइड कमर को घुमाइए और धीरे धीरे श्वास छोड़ते हुए सीधा आ जाइए। श्वास छोड़ते हुए सामान्य स्थिति में आइए। इसका अभ्यास विपरीत दिशा में श्वास छोड़ते हुए धीरे धीरे बाएं तरफ घुमाइए और धीरे धीरे श्वास लेते हुए पुनः सामान्य स्थिति में आइए और दोनों हाथों को श्वास छोड़ते हुए नीचे लेके आइए और सामान्य स्थिति में विश्राम कीजिए। अगला अभ्यास घुटने चालन क्रिया। जिन्हें भी घुटने में दर्द है, आर्थराइटिस है, गठिया जैसे शिकायत है, ऐसे व्यक्ति सावधानी के साथ इसका अभ्यास करना है। श्वास भरते हुए दोनों हाथों को सामने से कंधों के समानांतर लेके आइए। हथेलियों का मुख नीचे की तरफ रहे और श्वास छोड़ते हुए बैठ जाइए और आधी कुर्सी के ऊपर बैठे जैसे और धीरे धीरे श्वास लेते हुए ऊपर खड़े हो जाइए। एक और बार इसका अभ्यास करेंगे। धीरे धीरे श्वास भरते हुए नीचे की तरफ और धीरे धीरे श्वास लेते हुए ऊपर की तरफ और दोनों हाथों को नीचे की तरफ और विश्राम कीजिए। यहाँ चालन क्रिया का अभ्यास समाप्त हुआ। अब हम योगासनों का अभ्यास शुरू करेंगे। सभी आसनों का अभ्यास एक एक बार करेंगे। पहला आसन ताड़ासन। दोनों पैरों के बीच में 2 इंची का दूरी बना के रखिए। दोनों हाथों को सामने से कंधों के समान अंतर लेके आइए। दोनों हथेलियों को मिलाइए और उंगलियों को फंसाइए और हथेलियों को बाहर की तरफ घुमाइए और धीरे धीरे दोनों हाथों को ऊपर उठाइए। हो सके तो एड़ियों को ऊपर उठाने का प्रयास और संतुलन बनाए रखने का प्रयास और धीरे धीरे एड़ियों को नीचे लीजिए और दोनों हाथों को नीचे लेके आकर सामान्य स्थिति में विश्राम कीजिए। अगला अभ्यास पाद हस्तासन। यहाँ अभ्यास जिसे हाईबीपी है, हर्निया है, हाइपरगैस्ट्राइटिस है, ऐसे व्यक्ति सावधानी के साथ इसका अभ्यास करना है। दोनों पैरों के बीच में 4 इंची का दूरी बना के रखिए। श्वास भरते हुए दोनों हाथों को सामने से सिर के ऊपर लेके जाइए और धीरे धीरे श्वास बाहर छोड़ते हुए कमर से आगे की ओर झुकिए और दोनों हाथों को दोनों पैरों के पंजे के पास रखें या एंकल के पास रखने का प्रयास करें। इस अवस्था में कुछ देर बने रहिए और धीरे धीरे श्वास भरते हुए हाथों को और कमर को ऊपर उठाइए और श्वास छोड़ते हुए दोनों हाथों को सामान्य स्थिति में लेके आइए और विश्राम कीजिए। यहाँ अभ्यास पाचन क्रिया में डाइजेशन मेटाबॉलिज्म को बढ़ाता है, पेट की चर्बी को घटाता है। अगला अभ्यास अर्ध चक्रासन। दोनों हाथों को कमर पर रखें और धीरे धीरे श्वास भरते हुए सिर, गर्दन, छाती को पीछे की तरफ लेके जाइए। इसका अभ्यास करते समय आंखें खुली रहे और इस अवस्था में थोड़ी देर सामान्य श्वास प्रश्वास के साथ बने रहिए और धीरे धीरे श्वास छोड़ते हुए सिर, गर्दन, छाती को सामान्य स्थिति में लेके आइए और दोनों हाथों को पहले जैसे सामान्य स्थिति में रखिए और विश्राम कीजिए। अब हम बैठकर करने वाला आसनों का अभ्यास करेंगे, सिटिंग सीरीज। धीरे धीरे अपने मैट पर बैठ जाइए, पैरों को सामने की तरफ सीधा करें, दोनों हाथों को नितंब के पास रखें, गर्दन, कमर, सिर सीधा रखें। इसको दंडासन कहते हैं। इस अवस्था से अगले आसन पद्मासन का अभ्यास करेंगे। दंडासन की स्थिति से दोनों पैरों को एक साथ मोड़ते हुए दोनों तलवे को मिलाइए और पंजों को दोनों हाथों से पकड़िए। श्वास छोड़ते हुए एड़ियों को शरीर की तरफ खींचिए और घुटने को जमीन पर स्थापित करने का प्रयास कीजिए और इस अवस्था में थोड़ी देर बने रहिए। पूरा ध्यान श्वास प्रश्वास पर। इसका अभ्यास पेल्विक फ्लोर मसल को मजबूत करता है और मांसपेशियों में रक्त संचार को बढ़ाता है। और धीरे धीरे दोनों हाथों को जोड़िए, पैरों को आगे की तरफ फैलाइए और दंडासन में आइए और शीतल दंडासन में विश्राम कीजिए। दोनों हाथों को पीछे की तरफ लेके जाइए, दोनों पैरों के बीच में 1 फुट के अंतर रहो, गर्दन को एक तरफ दाएं या बाएं तरफ रखें और विश्राम कीजिए। अगला अभ्यास वज्रासन। यहाँ अभ्यास जिन्हें घुटने में दर्द है, आर्थराइटिस है या घुटने का सर्जरी हुआ है, ऐसे व्यक्ति सावधानी के साथ करना है। शीतल दंडासन से दंडासन में और एक एक पैर को पीछे की तरफ मोड़िए और दंडासन से वज्रासन में आ जाइए। एड़ियां बाहर की तरफ है, घुटने मिले हुए होना है और दोनों एड़ियों के बीच में बैठ जाइए। दोनों हाथों को घुटने पर स्थापित करें और सामान्य श्वास प्रश्वास पर इस अवस्था में थोड़ी देर बने रहिए। यह अभ्यास पेल्विक फ्लोर मसल को मजबूत करता है और मांसपेशियों में रक्त संचार को बढ़ाता है और पाचन क्रिया को भी बढ़ाता है। अगला आसन, यहीं से हम अर्ध मुस्कुरासन का अभ्यास करेंगे। वज्रासन की स्थिति से धीरे धीरे घुटने पर खड़े हो जाइए। घुटने के बीच कुछ अंतर बना के रखिए, दोनों हाथों को कमर के पीछे रखिए, कलाई ऊपर और उंगलियां नीचे की तरफ रहे और धीरे धीरे श्वास को करते हुए सिर, गर्दन, छाती के ऊपर की भाग को पीछे लेके जाइए। इस दौरान आंखें खुली रहे और इस अवस्था में थोड़ी देर सामान्य श्वास प्रश्वास पर बने रहिए। यहाँ अभ्यास बैक मसल को मजबूत करता है और कमर दर्द को दूर करता है और धीरे धीरे श्वास छोड़ते हुए सिर, गर्दन और छाती को सामान्य स्थिति में लेके आइए और धीरे धीरे वज्रासन में पुनः बैठ जाइए। अगला अभ्यास शशकासन का अभ्यास करेंगे। वज्रासन की स्थिति से दोनों घुटनों को बाहर की तरफ खोले, दोनों हाथों को हथेलियों को आगे फर्श पर स्थापित करें और धीरे धीरे श्वास छोड़ते हुए हथेलियों को सरकाते हुए शरीर को आगे की ओर लेके जाइए। नितंब एड़ियों पर टिका के रखें, छाती को तर्ती पर स्थापित करें और सामान्य श्वास प्रश्वास पर इस अवस्था में थोड़ी देर बनी रहिए। यहाँ अभ्यास फेफड़ों की कार्य क्षमता को बढ़ाता है, अपर बैक मसल को मजबूत करता है और धीरे धीरे श्वास भरते हुए दोनों हाथों को सरकाते हुए शरीर के पास लेके आइए और स्थापित करें और विश्राम कीजिए। यहीं से हम उत्थान मंडूकासन का अभ्यास करेंगे। धीरे धीरे श्वास भरते हुए दोनों हाथों को बगल में से सिर के ऊपर लेके जाइए और एक एक हाथ को, दाएं हाथ को मोड़ते हुए बाएं कंधे पर और बाएं हाथ को मोड़ते हुए दाएं कंधा पर स्थापित करें। गर्दन को सीधा रखने का प्रयास। इस अवस्था में सामान्य श्वास प्रश्वास के साथ थोड़ी देर बनी रहिए। यह अभ्यास फेफड़ों का कार्यक्षमता को बढ़ाता है। अब धीरे धीरे श्वास छोड़ते हुए दोनों हाथों को ऊपर उठाइए और बगल में से नीचे लेके आइए और दोनों घुटनों को जोड़िए। पुनः वज्रासन में आइए और दोनों पैरों को एक एक करके सामने की तरफ खोलिए और पुनः शीतल दंडासन में विश्राम कीजिए। अब हम पेट के बल करने वालों आसनों का अभ्यास करेंगे। दंडासन की स्थिति से पेट के बल लेट जाइए। सिर को आगे मंच की तरफ रखें और पैर पीछे की तरफ रहे। दोनों पैरों के बीच में 1 फुट का अंतर बना के रखें। दोनों एड़ियां अंदर और पंजे बाहर की तरफ रहे। दोनों हाथों को मोड़ते हुए दाएं हथेली को बाएं हथेली पर स्थापित करें और बाएं गाल को दाएं हाथ पर स्थापित करके रखें और इस अभ्यास को मुद्रासन कहा जाता है। और इस अवस्था में थोड़ी देर बने रहिए। यह आसन शरीर और मन को नियंत्रण करता है, शांति प्रदान करता है। अब हम भुजंगासन का अभ्यास करेंगे। मकरासन से दोनों पैरों को मिलाइए और धीरे धीरे श्वास को भरते हुए दोनों हाथों को छाती के पास रखें और श्वास को छोड़ते हुए धीरे धीरे दोनों हथेलियों को छाती पास रखिए और श्वास भरते हुए सिर, गर्दन, छाती को ऊपर आसमान की तरफ उठाइए और इस अवस्था में थोड़ी देर बनी रहिए सामान्य श्वास प्रश्वास पर और धीरे धीरे श्वास छोड़ते हुए पुनः सामान्य स्थिति में आइए और मकरासन में विश्राम कीजिए। अगला अभ्यास शर्वासन। मकरासन से दोनों पैरों को मिलाइए। दोनों हाथों को जांघों के पास स्थापित करें। ठोड़ी को जमीन पर स्थापित करें। श्वास भरते हुए दोनों पैरों को ऊपर उठाइए। घुटने को सीधा रखने का प्रयास। सामान्य श्वास प्रश्वास के साथ इस अवस्था में थोड़ी देर बनी रहिए। यह आसन सायटिका, कमर दर्द जैसे शिकायतों को दूर करता है और श्वास छोड़ते हुए दोनों पैरों को नीचे लेके आइए। पुनः मकरासन में विश्राम कीजिए और शरीर में ऊर्जा का महसूस करने का प्रयास। अब हम पेट के बल करने वाले आसनों का अभ्यास करेंगे। सुपन शीर्षक आसन। बाएं या दाएं तरफ करवट लेते हुए पीठ के बल लेट जाइए। अब हम सेतुबंध आसन का अभ्यास करेंगे जिसे गर्दन में दर्द है, सर्वाइकल स्पॉन्डिलाइटिस है, ऐसे व्यक्ति सावधानी के साथ इसका अभ्यास करना है। दोनों पैरों को मिलाइए। दोनों घुटनों को मोड़ते हुए एड़ियों को नितंब के पास लेके आइए और दोनों हाथों से एंकल को पकड़िए और श्वास लेते हुए नितंब को और कमर को ऊपर उठाइए। वृक्ष के आकार शरीर का आकृति बनाइए और सामान्य श्वास प्रश्वास पर इस पर थोड़ी देर बनी रहिए और धीरे धीरे श्वास छोड़ते हुए पुनः कमर को नीचे लेके आइए और सामान्य स्थिति में विश्राम कीजिए। अगला अभ्यास अर्ध हलासन। दोनों पैरों को मिलाइए। हाथों को शरीर के पास रखिए। श्वास भरते हुए धीरे धीरे दोनों पैरों को ऊपर उठाइए 45 डिग्री तक और धीरे धीरे ऊपर 90 डिग्री तक भी लेके जाने का प्रयास कीजिए और घुटने को सीधा रखने का प्रयास। और इस अवस्था में थोड़ी देर बनी रहिए सामान्य श्वास प्रश्वास के साथ और धीरे धीरे दोनों पैरों को नीचे लेके आइए और धरती में स्थापित कीजिए और विश्राम कीजिए। अगला अभ्यास हम पवन मुक्तासन का अभ्यास करेंगे जिसे IBP है, हर्निया है, कमर दर्द है, ऐसे व्यक्ति थोड़ी सावधानी के साथ इसका अभ्यास करना है। धीरे धीरे दोनों पैरों को घुटने से मोड़िए। घुटने को सीने के पास लेके आइए और दोनों हाथों से पकड़िए और श्वास छोड़ते हुए सिर को ऊपर उठाइए। जिसे गर्दन में दर्द है, सिर को ऊपर उठाने का प्रयास मत कीजिए और इस अवस्था में थोड़ी देर बने रहिए। सामान्य श्वास प्रश्वास पर यह आसन पाचन क्रिया को बढ़ाता है, डाइजेशन मेटाबॉलिज्म को बढ़ाता है, अजीर्ण कब्जी जैसे विकारों को निवारण करता है। और धीरे धीरे श्वास छोड़ते हुए सिर और पैर को नीचे लेके आइए और सामान्य स्थिति में विश्राम कीजिए। अब हम विश्व का सभी जीव जंतुओं का मनपसंद आसन शवासन का अभ्यास करेंगे। दोनों पैरों को मिलाइए और हाथों को शरीर के पास लेके आइए। श्वास भरते हुए दोनों हाथों को सिर के ऊपर उठाइए और पूरा शरीर को खींचिए। सकारात्मक खिंचाव लाने का प्रयास कीजिए। इस अवस्था में 2 से 3 श्वास प्रश्वास तक बने रहे और श्वास छोड़ते हुए हाथों को वापस शरीर के पास लेके आइए और पैरों के बीच में, हाथों के बीच में उचित दूरी बना के रखिए। हथेलियों का मुख आसमान की ओर खुले रहे, आंखें बंद रखें और गहरा लंबा श्वास लीजिए और गहरा लंबा श्वास बाहर छोड़िए। पूरा ध्यान श्वास प्रश्वास पर रहना है। शरीर में उत्पन्न होने वाले ऊर्जाओं का महसूस करने का प्रयास। गहरा लंबा श्वास लीजिए और गहरा लंबा श्वास बाहर छोड़िए। शरीर के प्रत्येक अंग प्रत्यंग को देखने का प्रयास और पूरा शरीर को शिथिल करने का प्रयास। पूरा ध्यान श्वास प्रश्वास पर। पूर्णता से विश्राम कीजिए और धीरे से बाएं या दाएं करवट लेते हुए बैठ जाइए। दाएं या बाएं करवट लेते हुए उठकर बैठ जाइए। अब हम कपालभाति का अभ्यास करेंगे। इसका अभ्यास 2 बार करेंगे 20 आवृत्ति के लिए। जिसे आईबीपी, हर्निया, कमर दर्द, सर्वाइकल स्पॉन्डिलाइटिस है, ऐसे व्यक्ति सावधानी के साथ करना है। किसी भी ध्यानात्मक आसन में बैठ जाइए। आंखें बंद रखें, कमर गर्दन सीधा रखें। दोनों हाथों से ज्ञान मुद्रा धारण करके घुटने पर स्थापित करें। गहरा लंबा श्वास लेना है और पेट की मांसपेशियों को दबाते हुए श्वास को बाहर छोड़ना है। पहला चरण आरंभ करिए 20 आवृत्ति के लिए। गहरा श्वास छोड़िए और शांति का अनुभव कीजिए। कपालभाति का दूसरा चक्र दोहराएंगे। गहरा श्वास बाहर छोड़िए और शांति का अनुभव कीजिए। अगला अभ्यास अनुलोम विलोम प्राणायाम। बाएं हाथ से ज्ञान मुद्रा धारण कीजिए और दाएं हाथ से राइट हैंड से प्राणायाम मुद्रा धारण कीजिए। दाएं नासिका रंध्र को अंगूठे से बंद करते हुए बाएं नासिका रंध्र से श्वास को धीरे धीरे अंदर लीजिए। अब बाएं नासिका रंध्र को बंद करते हुए दाएं नासिका रंध्र से श्वास को बाहर छोड़िए। पुनः दाएं नासिका रंध्र से श्वास को अंदर लीजिए और बाएं नासिका रंध्र से धीरे धीरे श्वास को बाहर छोड़िए। इसका अभ्यास करेंगे पूरा ध्यान श्वास प्रश्वास पर रहे। बाह्य नासिका रंध्र से श्वास अंदर और दाया नासिका रंध्र से श्वास बाहर, दाएं से अंदर पुनः बाएं से बाहर। ध्यान रहे श्वास धीमा गहरा और लयबद्ध हो। अनुलोम विलोम प्राणायाम शरीर में रोग प्रतिरोधक शक्ति को बढ़ाता है, एकाग्रता को बढ़ाता है, तनाव, चिंता, अवसाद, अनिद्रा जैसे विकारों को नियंत्रित करता है। और धीरे धीरे बाह्य नासिका रंध्र से श्वास को बाहर छोड़ते हुए वापस पुनः सामान्य स्थिति में आ जाइए। अगला अभ्यास शीतली प्राणायाम का अभ्यास करेंगे। जीभ को बाहर निकालिए और जीभ को दोनों तरफ से मोड़ते हुए पक्षी के चोंच के आकार बनाइए और जीभ से गहरा श्वास लीजिए और नाक से धीरे धीरे श्वास बाहर छोड़िए। पुनः इसका अभ्यास करेंगे। धीरे धीरे जीभ से श्वास अंदर और नाक से श्वास बाहर। शीतली प्राणायाम शरीर में एकाग्रता को बढ़ाता है, उच्च रक्तचाप को नियंत्रित करता है और नासिका से श्वास छोड़ते हुए विश्राम कीजिए। अगला अभ्यास भ्रामरी प्राणायाम। षण्मुखी मुद्रा धारण कीजिए। दोनों अंगूठे से कान बंद कीजिए। उंगलियों को चेहरे पर स्थापित करें। नाक से श्वास अंदर लीजिए और धीरे धीरे श्वास छोड़ते हुए कंठ से बवरे जैसे शब्द को उत्पन्न कीजिए। नाक से श्वास अंदर और बवरे जैसे कंठ से ध्वनि को उत्पन्न करते हुए नाक से श्वास को बाहर। कंठ से उत्पन्न हुए तरंगों को महसूस करने का प्रयास और तरंगों को मस्तिष्क तक लेके जाने का प्रयास। और धीरे से दोनों हाथों को वापस लेके आइए। यहाँ भ्रामरी प्राणायाम तुरंत तनाव, अवसाद, चिंता को दूर करता है। अब हम ध्यान का अभ्यास करेंगे। आंखें बंद रखें, कमर गर्दन सीधा। दोनों हाथों से ज्ञान मुद्रा या ध्यान मुद्रा का धारण कीजिए। कंधों को शिथिल रखें और श्वास प्रश्वास पर पूरा ध्यान केंद्रित कीजिए। श्वास धीमा और गहरा रहे। पूरा ध्यान श्वास प्रश्वास पर। शुद्ध विचार और भावनाओं को प्रति सजगता। अपने हृदय में प्रणव को धारण कीजिए। पूर्णतः निर्विचार होने का प्रयास। ध्यान में लीन होने का प्रयास। गहरा लंबा श्वास लीजिए और गहरा लंबा श्वास बाहर छोड़िए। और मन ही मन में संकल्प धारण कीजिए कि मैं स्वयं के प्रति, कुटुंब के प्रति, समाज और विश्व के प्रति शांति, आनंद और स्वास्थ्य के प्रचार के लिए संकल्पबद्ध हो और देश के विकास के लिए समर्पित हो। अब हम शांति के सद्भावना के मंत्र के साथ आज का अभ्यास समाप्त करेंगे। हम सब सुखी रहे, हम सब रोग मुक्त रहे, हम सबका जीवन मंगलमय रहे, कोई भी दुख का भागी ना बने। दोनों हथेलियों को घर्षण कीजिए, कोमलता से दोनों हथेलियों को चेहरे के ऊपर और आंखों पर स्पर्श कीजिए और धीरे धीरे पलकों को झपकाते हुए कोमलता से दोनों आंखों को खोलिए और सामान्य स्थिति में आइए। आप सभी का धन्यवाद। आपका दिन मंगलमय हो, योगमय हो। जय हिंद, जय भारत। सभी योग अभ्यासियों के लिए आप अपने मैट पे बैठे रहिए।
जाने दीजिए सबको।
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी प्रस्थान करने के बाद हम सबको देंगे।
नहीं उठा,
आप सभी भी जाइए। आप सभी को
All right, those were the live visuals from Srinagar on 10th International Day of Yoga, where Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated and performed several asanas. People also participated enthusiastically in the event. And this year, the theme is Yoga for Self and Society. The day aims to spread yoga as a global movement, focusing on raising awareness of social health problems and well-being. Yoga is known for its stress-relieving and mental health benefits, making it an essential practice in today's modern world. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated everyone on 10th International Day of Yoga. He said, since its inception, new records are being made every year. He also said that with each passing year, people are taking up yoga as part of their life and showing keen interest in the same. PM Modi also said that yoga is gaining massive popularity all across the world, not just in India. And while highlighting the theme of this year, which I said is yoga for self and society, PM Modi said that we all can make a positive impact on the society through yoga. All right, now we have Dr. Sunil M. Raheja, who is ex-medical superintendent, GB Pant Hospital and senior physician. So, welcome once again. Now, you've been saying that you are practicing yoga since more than 2 decades now. So, can you share some incident or some experience where yoga had a profound impact on you?
Yes, you know, yoga helps you to unite to yourself. And this leads to the union of self-consciousness with the universal consciousness. So, what happens? You unite to yourself.
Okay.
And yoga, as I told, it's a holistic way of living. Yoga is not just a set of exercises, but it's a set of way you live, like holistic eating, exercise, meditation, the way you think. And there are different techniques, postures which stretches your muscles.
Correct.
Like, you know, there are different techniques. When you are in stress, you just tighten your body.
Yes.
And release it slowly. So, this at the microcellular level relaxes the stresses and anxiety in your body. If you have that feeling that it's going for the positive thinking, and non-attachment is the key. You know, yoga teaches you the way of life.
Correct.
Like let it go.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever you feel it's not right or this thing, so you let it go.
Okay.
So this decreases your stress.
So
and when you are doing yoga, yes, you have the release of bliss hormones in your body.
Okay.
Bliss hormones are endorphin, serotonin.
There are positive endorphins
positive
also
hormones,
and negative endorphins also.
Yes, yes. Positive endorphins are always positive, and serotonin, and all these oxytocin. These all hormones give a feeling of oneness, togetherness, and feeling of self-esteem, relaxation, feeling of well-being, feeling of energy, good sleep, and you are positive with others also. You are positive to yourself, and you are positive to others also. Like you understand the meaning of life. One has to have contentment in all situations. Like all of us know that at times we cannot change the situation, but it is better to
keep calm in that situation,
keep calm
to
and
have a
adjust
control
yourself
of your own body, and
yes,
and which certainly comes from yoga.
Yes.
Sir, a lot has been
It's
talked about mental and emotional health of a person. How does yoga contribute to it? By practicing yoga, how can one control their anger, emotion, and improve their mental health?
It's a great question. I think in today's world, it's a world of stress, competition, ambitions, time management, financial issues, educational achievements, personal gains, family issues, ego. So, all this is there. So, yoga basically is a subtle science which calms your mind, body, and one feels calm when you are doing yoga. I mean, for half an hour or 1 hour out of 24 hours, you are doing certain pranayams. In that, you are doing Om Vilom, deep breathing, Brahmari. All these pranayams settle your, calmness. They will bring calmness in your brain, and all the stress hormones like norepinephrine, noradrenaline, cortisol levels, which create anxiety, stress, increase your blood pressure, and they bring a feeling of initially you will have a kick, and then once your that part is over, you feel very weak. So all these hormones, they will be cut down. Your sympathetic system will be cut down.
Okay.
So you will react differently to the same situation, and your parasympathetic system, which decreases your heart rate, your blood pressure, improves your digestion, relaxes your body. Because I am telling you, we are working in the day hours, but a good sleep and relaxation is also important for our body to work for the next day.
Definitely. And Mr. Reja, there are two aspects of yoga. One, we can connect a spiritual aspect of yoga, and then there comes the other aspect of yoga. Combining both, it gives a person a holistic development in a person's personality. How do you assess this?
Definitely. Once you are physically and mentally you are feeling good, and you think spiritually, you attach to yourself in self and the universal consciousness. So once you get attached to these, your mind will feel calm, and you will be able to stand the difficult situation in a calm, cool and confident way. Because life, we have different challenges, and at times we feel low, depressed.
Yeah.
But if you are doing yoga, you always have that sense of well-being, sense of good feeling that everything will be okay. So keep doing good work, think positive, and feel settled. And yoga also help us to have good relations with your family, with our children,
Indeed.
parents,
Indeed.
society.
And which is very important in today's world.
Very, very important.
Definitely. Sir, stay with us. I'll come back to you. We are having a very nice conversation. And union ministers across the country performed yoga asanas on 10th International Day of Yoga. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar along with other diplomats are participating in yoga celebrations on the occasion of International Yoga Day 2024. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh participated in a Yoga Day event along with army personnel at the Strike Course 1 in Mathura, Uttar Pradesh. Union Minister Piyush Goyal was seen performing on the occasion of 10th International Yoga Day. India's Health Minister JP Nadda participated in yoga session on International Yoga Day. Union Minister Kiren Rijiju attended International Yoga Day 2024 in Delhi. Union Ministers Prahlad Joshi and B.L. Verma performed yoga on 10th International Yoga Day at Tyagraj Sports Complex in New Delhi. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath participated in the celebration of 10th International Yoga Day in Lucknow. Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel performed yoga in Ahmedabad. Rajasthan CM Bhajanlal Sharma was seen performing yoga in Jaipur. Students of Delhi University all set to participate at the 10th International Yoga Day. Delhi's Member of Parliament Manoj Tiwari will be practicing yoga with students in DU. Well, like I said, not just in India, but across the world, Yoga Day is being celebrated. And for more on this, I've been joined by a correspondent, Laura Westbrook, who is joining from Hong Kong. And at Wan Chai Convention Center, the Indian Consulate in Hong Kong is hosting 10th International Day of Yoga celebrations. Hello, Laura, how are you? And it's 10th International Day of Yoga. The world is celebrating. What is happening there? How's the enthusiasm amongst the people?
Yes, there's a lot of enthusiasm here. This is one of many mass yoga sessions that are taking place around the world, and it's been going on all morning. It's taking place behind me, and today around 500 people will be able to take place in these mass free yoga sessions that are taking place today to mark the 10th anniversary of International Yoga Day. And I've been watching some of the sessions and I feel calm just watching it. So I don't know what it's been like for people actually taking part. And this is a 5,000-year-old tradition. It brings together breathing techniques as well as the physical techniques. And it's been one of the fastest growing wellness practices over the past decade. And I've been speaking to the Indian Consul General Satwant Kanalia, and she's been telling me that about making this session free was also about bringing the philosophy of yoga, about making it accessible to anyone that wants to access it. And also, one of the themes of today is self and society. She said that some of the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic were still being felt in terms of people feeling isolated. So another theme was about bringing people here together to create that sense of community as well. And about 250 people have taken part in the first session. And I did ask the Consul General Satwant Kalali about what's her favorite yoga position, and she said it was the cat-cow position. And she also said her favorite pranayama breathing technique was when you breathe and hum, and that calms the mind. And she said that's one of her favorites as well, and that sounds pretty good to me. I'd like to try that too.
All right, thank you so much for that analysis, Laura, and a happy International Yoga Day to you as well. Well, we were in conversation with our guest in studio, Dr. Sunil M. Raheja, who is ex-medical superintendent at GB Pant Hospital and senior physician as well. Sir, now continuing our conversation, do you recommend any particular pose for any particular illness, or in general you suggest normal yoga pose in everyday life so that people, don't even get these illnesses?
Yes, this is a very, very important question, and the take-home message should be yoga is a science, and as we know, science has to be learnt in a scientific way.
Yeah.
And whenever you are going to start yoga, please follow the advice of a yoga teacher, yoga guru. And as we know, the yoga has become very popular, and now yoga is done by millions of people all over the world.
Okay,
I think
so
more than 140 countries.
Okay, I would like to ask you here that you
So,
don't recommend people practicing yoga by just watching, videos on social media platforms.
I will tell you, because certain asanas like Kapal Bharati, this when you are doing active expiration, is not to be done for the person who is having coronary artery disease, heart disease, or high blood pressure. Similarly, certain asanas are not to be done if you have got a backache, osteoarthritis. So it's a complete science. And yoga, the positive thing about yoga is that yoga can be done at all ages. I have seen a young boy at the age of 5-6 years doing difficult yogas when I go for a morning walks and yoga sessions, and I have seen a person who is 70 years doing yoga. So yoga can be done at any age, but as I told you, that it has to be guided by someone.
Yeah.
Like which yoga is to be done by whom. In the initial phase, one should learn it through the proper way. Like there are different institutes in Delhi and all over the country and all over the world. Even government is promoting like anything. I think yoga classes are being conducted free at so many places also. So if you take the advantage of this and learn yoga maybe for a couple of weeks or couple of months, and then you will get the basic essence of yoga. And then you can practice at home on your own under the guidance in a guided way. You know, everything has to be learned and done in a subtle way, in a scientific way, and you should know your limits. Like yoga, I always say, you have to, yoga is not to exert your body. Like if I am very tired, I do yoga for an hour, I feel even more energetic. Why I feel more energetic? Because I am not tiring my body that way. I am energizing my body. I always say yoga is to energize yourself.
Okay.
So yoga is a technique in which you are doing physical asanas, you are doing pranayams, and you are doing energy yoga. So you know all these, like when you are doing a deep breathing, for example, now normal breath is around 500 to 600 ml, but when you are taking a slow deep breath, like it's a way of breathing, like you know, first you will expand your abdomen, then you will pull your diaphragm down, then you will expand your chest, then your shoulders. So this way you can put 5 to 6 liters of air in the lungs. Like normal breathing is 500 to 600 ml, whereas when you are doing deep breathing, the total intake of air is 5000 to 6000 cc.
That's huge.
10 times.
Yeah.
So you can believe how much more oxygen you are putting in your body. So this will energize yourself.
Definitely, and at the same time relax yourself as well.
Yes, definitely. Once you are doing all these exercises and then you go to Shavasana, or yogic nidra, in other words. So then you are just lying down very relaxed pose, like you just with your मन की आंखों से, कहते हैं मेरे गुरुजी कि मन की आंखों से आपने पहले दाएं पैर के अंगूठे को देखना है, फिर दाएं पैर को, फिर बाएं पैर के अंगूठे को, फिर दाएं पैर को, फिर दाएं टांग को, धीरे धीरे you have to feel your body within yourself.
Correct.
So this relaxes your body totally. Your respiration will come down to very low rate. Like normally we are breathing around 16 to 18 times in a minute, but once you are going to this yogic nidra, your respiration will become very slow.
Definitely.
Maybe 10 to 12. So you know, all this relaxes. Yoga is basically has different techniques like alternate contractions, then relaxation, then stretching, then exercises like aerobics kind of thing. Then yoga is a complete exercise in a way, because it contains all sets of physical exercise activity in a way that you are doing that engine dod, then you are doing that cycling by lying down, and then you are stretching yourself against the distance. You are stretching your joints, muscles, long muscles. You are doing that.
All right.
All these asanas.
I'll come back to you. All right. We are just showing you the visuals where Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in the 10th International Day of Yoga and meeting all the yoga enthusiasts. Remember, this year's theme is Yoga for Self and Society. The day aims to spread yoga as a global movement, focusing on raising awareness of social health problems and well-being as well. This is the 10th edition, and the theme this time is Yoga for Self and Society, whereas last year it was Yoga for Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, Yoga for World as One Family, and in 8th edition it was Yoga for Humanity, 7th edition Yoga for Wellness, and then Yoga at Home and Yoga with Family, Yoga for Heart, Yoga for Peace, Yoga for Health, Yoga for the Achievement of Sustainable Development Goals, and 1st edition in 2015 the theme was Yoga for Harmony and Peace. Here you can see on your television screens Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi meeting and greeting all the yoga enthusiasts on this special day, which is 10th International Day of Yoga. People are clapping and welcoming the Indian Prime Minister in Srinagar as he meets with the yoga enthusiasts. He performed asanas as well and also told about the benefits of yoga in modern day life, including relieving stress and also improving the mental health by practicing yoga. He also said that he is overwhelmed by seeing this massive crowd in Jammu and Kashmir who took active participation in the 10th International Day of Yoga. And now on your television screens you can see Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi meeting the yoga enthusiasts. These are the people who performed yoga along with the Indian Prime Minister when he was performing. Rain gods perhaps were not happy today, but still they couldn't stop the spirit of the people who performed yoga with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And India, the birthplace of yoga, has long been a torchbearer of this holistic practice. With its roots deeply embedded in Indian culture and spiritual traditions, yoga has transcended borders to become a global phenomenon. The journey of yoga from ancient ashrams to modern studios worldwide is a testament to India's enduring cultural influence. All right. And that's it in this edition of DD India News Hour, but news and updates will continue. A very happy International Day of Yoga.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome to Jaipur.
अरे वाह, लेजेंड की बैट। इससे तो मैं खेलूंगा। फ्यूचर बैटिंग लेजेंड है।
इसमें जिसका नाम लिखा है बैट उसी को मिलेगी।
अरे यार,
देखा, अगर इस पे मेरा नाम नहीं लिखा होता तो कितनी दिक्कत हो जाती। इसलिए आरबीआई कहता है बैंक अकाउंट हो या बैंक लॉकर, उसमें नॉमिनी का नाम जरूर दर्ज करें ताकि आपकी जमा पूंजी उसी को मिले जिसे आपने नामित किया है।
आरबीआई कहता है जानकार बनिए, सतर्क रहिए।
गर फिरदौस बर्रुए ज़मी अस्त, हमी अस्तो हमी अस्तो हमी अस्त। Jammu and Kashmir, nature's finest works. A land of verdant valleys, pristine lakes, striking autumns, unforgettable majestic beauty. A place of unwavering devotion, wholehearted smiles, and warm hospitality. World famous for its exquisite artistry. Leader in diverse agricultural products. Heartland of winter sports. Jammu and Kashmir is vibrant, diverse, ambitious, future-focused, full of life. Welcome to heaven on earth.
We just don't bring you the news as it unfolds. We get to the heart of the matter.
We don't just present facts, we demystify complex social, political and economic events.
We break stories that shape the world's present and future because you deserve the truth.
I am Tanvi Taneja from New Delhi.
I'm Ollie Barrett from London.
I'm Nick Harper from Washington DC.
Join us on DD India Global Monday to Friday at these times.
Shagato to West Bengal, India's cultural epicenter. West Bengal invites you to share its richness, to be united as one family with one shared vision of building a better tomorrow.
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. A world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. Embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress, a voice of unity. Watch Voice of the Global South with me, Akshay Dongre, only on DD India.
Hello and welcome. We are live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next hour. 10th International Day of Yoga being celebrated across the world with the theme Yoga for Self and Society. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi says yoga fosters strength, good health and wellness, urges all to make yoga a part of their daily lives, leads Yoga Day celebrations in